Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Russell Pierce Sunday Special. We're back at it again, back of Hangman here with his good friends from Russell Pierce. And we're here to deliver a special review of the first episode of AEW Collision. So strap in. It's going to be a fun, good time. We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to hang out here, answer your super chat questions, and just kind of kick it for a little bit. So make sure to like, subscribe, and leave comments if you can. But first, we have to toss it over to the panel. And we're joined by a lovely expert panel here, including Anna, who's making her return. So, Anna, how are you doing today? I don't know why.
I'm good. I feel like I have so many returns because I just don't show up in the podcast for like 2 months.
You're
and then
a
I'm
return
back
merchant.
again.
It's Roman Reigns. Every time he makes a return to SmackDown.
Yeah. Anna returns with a graphic.
Yes, the most important return of the whole weekend, as we know.
No, my God.
Yes,
it's a fact.
How you been, Anna?
I'm good. I've been very busy, exam season, 4 jobs, college. I'm fine. Holidays starting. Yeah. Now it's like summer vacation, so I'll be okay. I'll just travel. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I actually enjoy getting the perspective of people who obviously understand the game of wrestling, but don't get a chance to watch it all the time. And so, like, I think sometimes, like, when we're like super deep in and consuming it all the time, we have very different views from somebody who's just kind of dipping in the, see a show. And sometimes you maybe get something that, me or Joe wouldn't. So it's good to have you. I'm really happy to have you on the show, and we're going to get into all of it. Joe Holbert, how are you doing today, sir?
Mate, I think you know the answer to that already because we had quite the evening last night, which we'll get into here as we go. It was a hell of a time, so I'm delighted to be here. Always happy to be on the Sunday show. I don't work this town every week, but always, it's always nice to extend the loop a little bit, get an extra payday along the way. So good times. First time sharing the screen with Anna too, so a great occasion for the Wrestle Purist historians out there. Please do note this on whatever kind of chronicling you're doing for this platform. So a hell of a time for sure. I'm fired up, pal.
Joey Bing Bong, you know what I mean?
Indeed.
And last, but certainly not least, the First Lady, Israel, the biggest CM Punk fan on the panel. She joined us. True story, guys. So she wasn't going to do the show today, weeks ahead of time, but then she was like, wait, is this the Collision review? And I said, yeah. And she said, look, CM Punk's my favorite wrestler of all time, and I can't miss my review of this person's return. So, I did what I had to do, you know what I mean, as president of the company. And so I brought in the First Lady. Israel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk about Collision, not because CM Punk is my favorite by any means, but because I can't wait to shit on him. Me personally, if y'all know me, anything about me, right? If I just want you to know one thing, if you don't, I don't really like CM Punk as a person, for so many different reasons. And I feel like lately this has become more of a widespread thing that CM Punk is disliked for his personality. But at the end of the day, what really matters is the talent, right? And CM Punk is very dog shit.
Oh my God.
And I don't need anyone interrupting me when I'm speaking, because Sunday is my day. I need you to remember who the fuck employed you. Okay?
You employed me?
So when the First Lady is talking, the Stooges pipe down. As I was saying, the important thing is we talk about Punk as a talent and just how shitty he is at that as well. So, we got, also wrestling don't revolve around him. Wrestling revolves around the Shield. Wrestling revolves around Seth Rollins, Jon Moxley, and Roman Reigns. So at the end of the day, this is just a very small speck of, what wrestling is all about. I'm just here to do my job at the end of the day. So.
And your job you definitely will do. We're going to get into all of it. But again, guys, make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Send us super chats. We'll go through all those. But yeah, CM Punk made his return last night in the United Center. You know what I mean? They sold a lot of late tickets last second. And it was a very, very interesting show. A lot was made about this apparent brand split AEW was going to have, and what it was going to mean and what it was going to look like, what Collision was going to look like as a show, who was going to be featured and stuff. And before we get into anything, I guess I want to toss it to Joe. What did you think about the presentation of the show, the look of the show, and how you compared that and how it, I guess, flowed to AEW Dynamite?
I think that the word you just touched on there is the key one. The flow of the show was different. You know, I know everyone will prefer it, certainly, but it was definitely more slow and deliberate in terms of like emphasizing key points. Whereas Dynamite, for better and worse, depending on how good the individual segments are, is like, you know, it's like a roller coaster, right? It's totally frenetic. Like there's all action, every segment matters, and so on and so forth. And again, when the show's good, that creates like an incredible experience. When the segments miss, it can be kind of incoherent at times. But so yeah, it would divide people with that. But I think it was more than the aesthetics. I think it was a pacing thing. And as we get into throughout the show, I think more than the kind of branding itself, it was the content that made the show feel different, because there was definitely, I think, an effort to kind of differentiate the kind of wrestling you're going to see on Collision, which we'll get into as we go kind of segment by segment. But I definitely think it had a different feel for sure.
What did you make of that, Anna? The feel of the show, the look of the show, how did it come off to you compared to
I thought it was very different, and I wasn't expecting to be that different because I was expecting it kind of to be like a Raw SmackDown situation. Like the show is kind of built the same, but just the wrestlers change. But yeah, it felt very, very different. It still felt like AEW, but it didn't feel like the same thing as Dynamite. Like from the beginning, like Joe said, I feel like the pacing was definitely the biggest difference. I feel like the day that they edited and cut stuff was like very distinguished, and I love the stage. I think the stage like completely washed the Dynamite stage. Was so beautiful.
It looks nice.
And, yeah. But I think also one thing that gave the personality is like Nigel and Kevin Kelly. Like I love that commentary team. When they announced that, I was like, okay, I have to watch the show now, because just like Nigel and commentary, how can I not watch it? I felt like they really gave their own like a special touch to the show as well, that made it more unique and more different than Dynamite. But I really liked it. I think it was like a very well constructed as a whole. It was a nice feel.
It was also it was striking. Sorry, but it was striking more when the announcers quickly. It was very apparent watching this how like uncommon it has been on AEW TV to have just a 2-man announce booth. It was like apparent because you're not used to that, right? They always have a big booth, and that was even. I know not everyone loved the team. I'm with you. I thought it was a very, very good team, but that was apparent too, and it had a different kind of feel to the show. I thought tonally. So yeah.
Absolutely. Look, Excalibur and his style of commentary, which is basically to like never be quiet, kind of fit with the frenetic nature of an AEW Dynamite. And Kevin Kelly, you know, it's up to you, your subjective taste, what you prefer, but his feel is just very different, and it's more suited to this type of program. I thought visually, like the red ropes and like just the color scheme of the show was nice. I'm big on colors in wrestling. Like I fixate on these things that nobody else gives a shit about. Like I'm a big. How does the ramp look? How do the rope
He's
colors
so
look?
different from everyone else.
I'm very different. Like I'm a really unique guy. Like I like colors.
He's not like other wrestling fans.
I'm not like other wrestling fans at all. You know. Yeah, absolutely. Issa, what do you think? What did you think of the look of the show, the feel of the show, how it vibed and flowed and stuff? Do you think it was different than Dynamite, and what did you feel about it?
Can I be completely honest?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the Dynamite stage and its aesthetic is very bare minimum. So this stage, it's a step up, but it's also giving me bare minimum. I think just because like aesthetically both shows they're nothing, anything. Oh my God, I'm like fucking up. They're both not much special. Like I just don't think it's much different or like anything. I really wish I could put into words how basic it is.
The look of the show?
Yeah. Like it's just simple. Like it's very like stripped down. Like it's like glass and like.
You know what it is? It's because we grew up on wrestling sets that were very complex and had like a lot of like stage design and stuff. And now, no matter what company you look at, like the sets are very much just LED screens. It's just a different arrangement of LED screens. So I could see you basically saying it's just.
I will say it does look cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they didn't try to do too much. I did think that like. I guess I kind of appreciated that they didn't do too much, but like it's just it's like nothing special for anyone to just gag at. Like it's just whatever. I prefer a 2-man commentary team over like 3-man or anything else. So I do think commentary is a lot more. It's just much better.
What about the flow of the show, like compared to a Dynamite?
The flow?
Yeah, like the pacing and how it was kind of just arranged.
I would say it flowed pretty well. Like it wasn't overwhelming or overstimulating or anything like that, like the way the Dynamite would be. But that might be people's flavor, though. Like, I think if you prefer like high paced, just a lot going on, a lot of different characters being introduced, that you would prefer Dynamite. But if, let's say, someone who might be new to the AEW and doesn't or isn't able to like stomach like all these new things and like the amount of people that are introduced on Dynamite, like they might prefer Collision. I would say it's a little more palatable.
To me,
it's really paining me to give it any kind of credit. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
It's unfortunate, you know. If this was a show that you knew going in was booked by Hangman Page, I feel like there'd be a bit of a different tenor here. But nonetheless,
I think it should be booked by Christian Cage.
It might be.
When I seen him, I was like, okay, because they opened up the show with Punk. I know we're gonna talk about the structure and everything. They opened the show with Punk, right? And we're gonna talk about that later. Once they switched and I saw Christian, I'm like, oh my god, like this is something that I can really sink my claws in. Like, I knew he was there to like save me.
Do you remember you once called him a DILF in a space?
Oh, he is a DILF. He's probably the DILF in wrestling, like, if I'm honest. That's actually, I might have blurted that out when I was watching him. I was like, oh, I know what it is, because my sister was in the next room. I was like literally yelling from like one room over. I'm like, Christian is such a good man. And she's like, who? And I'm like, Christian Cage. She's like, oh, the wrestler. I'm like, yeah, that's like a good man. I'm like yelling from like across the house.
That's very interesting. Look, man, he's a very sharp guy. He has his turtlenecks and stuff. So shout out to Christian Cage. Bob the Builder sends a $2.20 super chat. Outside of Roman, Brock, Punk is the biggest star. That's just a fact, Bob. CM Punk.
Bob, thank you for the 220 Canadian. We appreciate your input, even though you're wrong.
I don't think you're wrong. Chi-Town Spurs $5. Collision debut in the building. Fun show. Main event was a bit long. Never seen that many Cornette shirts in one place in my life. And
that was traumatizing.
Wait, really? I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Almost every time they showed the audience, there was like someone with a Cornette shirt. That was insane to me. Like, I felt like I was losing years of my life. I've never seen one person with a Cornette shirt. Like, that many people in the same building, I would have been terrified. Like, if I was there in person, I would have just walked off. That's terrifying. That's like a hellish. Like,
they zoomed in on people specifically. That was what made it weirder.
Yes!
Because sometimes you spot guys. Whenever I see someone at Dynamite with a cornet, I'm like, that's such a strange choice. It was bizarre. But here it was like they were taking one shots of dudes with their fucking cornet. It was like, what is going on, man?
I just know there was not a single person using deodorant in that audience. Like, I just know. The smell there was insane. Deodorant. The smell there was insane. Like,
I will say, Joe, a lot of the Cornette guys and the Fuck the Elite chants, it really did feel like CM Punk kind of ripped in like a new subsection of an AEW fan base, so to speak.
Yes.
Which I just thought was very fascinating.
There was definitely like and again, people can think of this what they want, they're more entitled to, but there was definitely like a strange like alternate reality feel to the show at times.
Yeah,
it was like we'd woken up in a different universe. It was very bizarre at times, very surreal to watch.
AEW without the woke shit. Christopher Lindsay, $4.99. Before we begin, Mighty Joe, the panty dropper himself, flex for the world and show us the muscles. Do it for me. Do it for the bloodline.
I owe everyone this. I will flex. There will be a double buy in around 5 to 10 seconds, so prepare yourselves accordingly. You may be caught off guard. It could be a very alarming image. However, I do want to note before I go any further that we need to end the nickname that's been put upon me here now. Putting a nip in it now. I'm not going to use Manny's phrase in that regard. And also, I was going to do this in my intro, and then I realized I get super chat habits. There it is, folks. There it is.
Finally,
he double did buy. I'll throw up a one to boot. My camera is not quite big enough. But there it is, folks. The Usos. We're headed to London. I got my VIP seat ready. I'm not going to see any other match on this fucking show. I'm going to walk down like I'm boxing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk down for the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Usos hat, Usos shirt. I'm trying to find some sort of tracksuit bottoms, ideally shorts, because I think it's going to be hot.
Yeah, it's going to be really hot.
If you see me at the O2 Arena and you approach me wanting an 8x10 signed, I will sign it, but only if you do what I just did and hit the double buy, as well as throwing up the ones in support of our famous tag team, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. So there you go.
Beautifully said, Joe. Anna, we've been trying to get Joe to flex on camera for like 2 months. Like
I'm
people.
seeing the comments here.
I've got a
People
lot
are
of
going
money out of
crazy.
it.
They're like, Anna, it's been like 2 months of people have been extending money, begging him to do it. He's always like, I won't dignify that. That's for the unpurest people. I refuse to perform on camera for money. I will not.
Bro turned me into William Regal, man. That's crazy.
And then didn't you basically say like if the Usos face to face Roman and Solo, I'll fucking do it. And then we made it.
Yeah.
So nice.
I was hoping it would be more like a cliffhanger. Yeah, well, that's what we do here, this is we're not seeking cheap pops here, folks. We're gonna get the most out of these spots. There you
go. Darren Walker with 5 big ones there. The real one, Darren Walker. What a weekend! Not only Punk returned, but also Anna. Too very happy very happy you are back. And hello to everyone else. Darren, thank you for the wonderfully.
Thank you,
you're not. Wait, hold on. You're not too happy to see me though.
Joe, Darren, you definitely have to clarify that now with another super chat.
I agree.
Custodian Brian Tobin Jr. $4.99. Go ahead with this one, Isra.
Okay, so $4.99. Phil kind of was looking like Jimmy Uso when he took his shirt off, to be honest. And don't be comparing my pops to him. Phil again, Ebu. Really disrespectful.
BPJ is referring to me saying that CM Punk is the new Brian Pillman Sr. I mean, listen, he's the only guy in wrestling today that makes you believe. He works a lot of people, and it seemed like he worked Isra, but we'll find out for sure when we get into it.
I never get worked.
You never get worked?
I watch wrestling with this exact expression on my face, like
same.
That's another Joe Lore right there. So when Seth is doing his thing, you're just sitting there like, like, all right.
Oh no, I'm making a completely different face when that one's on.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's out here putting Tony Snell numbers. What do you?
Okay, shout out to Tony Snell for coming out about his diagnosis with autism.
Absolutely.
I think comparing me to Tony Snell is, while my name is misspelled, is what is it called? Ableism.
Sure.
So I think you should send another super chat to apologize for what you just did.
05 Sam Joe, 22 Mox, or 23 Romford Joe. Who's Romford Joe?
Well, this is another nickname that's being put upon me that I'm not exactly thrilled by, but it's just, I mean, look, it is what it is. People, as long as it's paired with a super chat, you can call me whatever the fuck you want, quite frankly. But I mean, I'm in the midst of my campaign. I am imploring all supporters of Wrestle Purists and the Late Night Grin to email Dave Meltzer regarding my Wrestler of the Year candidacy. Some will question that. I haven't wrestled a match, but I've been on a lot of podcasts, so I think that must count for something. So I am looking for an award. If there are any awards regarding wrestling podcasts, I feel like I'm going to win one this year. So, I mean, I'm no 05 Sam Joe, but I mean, I'm coming for you, brother. I'm on my way.
Look, man, the work rate you've displayed this year is crazy. And I think you've had more good podcast performances than Wardlow has good matches this year. So that should account for something.
Oh,
yeah. Go ahead, Isra, take this one.
Wait, my screen is like lowered. Hold on.
No one ever gets to write about it.
I'm a $2 super chat. Thank you. We appreciate you. Isra versus CM Punk for Forbidden Door. I don't think CM Punk will be able to hang with me, to be honest. He can't lace up my boots.
Really?
That promo segment will be incredible.
What,
Can you imagine?
Isra versus CM Punk. What move are you beating CM Punk with, Isra?
What move?
Yeah, what move are you beating with?
What was the move he got knocked out with in UFC?
Oh my God.
I'm going to learn that one.
Oh my God. He never got knocked out. He was submitted. There's a big difference. Thank you for the super chat, Daxter. Darren Walker with another 5 pounds. There you go. So this is for you.
He said, Isra, I said hello to everyone, so I am happy you here too. Evu, expect a 15-minute promo from you. Return of Punk. Yo, Darren, what do you mean? What does this last sentence mean?
Yo, Darren Walker's the best. You know what's funny? When Monty put out the first tweet with the lineup for the night, someone replied like, Darren Walker's gonna have a heart attack. and while you've been gone, every podcast will just be like, hey guys, where's Ibu? Where's Anna? Enjoy the show. Like every show, he's just, where's Ibu?
I love that. Such a real one. Darren Rockers has been here like since day one for us.
It's incredible because we won't like announce you coming back anytime soon, but he'll still like every show be like, is Anna gonna be here next week? So God bless. Thank you so much, Darren, for the super chats, and guys, thank you all for the super chats. We're gonna keep them rolling for sure. But again, June 17th, 2023 was the return of CM Punk in Chicago in the United Center, and the show opened up with "Saturday's All Right for Fighting" by Elton John. And we got some nice pyro. Yeah, Elton John. And, we were introduced to the show by Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness. And the show opened with these big CM Punk chants. And,
I was in fear for my life.
big, huge. Oh, my God.
I always forget I have this picture. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, is that the combined Cole and Brian one? Is that what it is?
Yes.
I was very confused with that. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. I was like, what happened to Brian's chin?
Yeah, so CM Punk came back, and his energy when he walked out was just very, very like telling. The first time he came back in AEW, he's on his knees, he's soaking it in. He comes off very appreciative and like he's just kind of taking the moment in. And this time he's just kind of walking, no gesturing to the fans, just walking straight, right? And I'm like, it was very hard to read where his mind was at with this, right? And he comes out, walks in the ring. He has a pair of shoes wrapped around his neck, and he has like a red bag. So he has some props with him. And he grabs the mic and he takes the AEW microphone guard off the microphone. And he's sporting a short buzz cut look, the look that we last saw in 2013 when he was a heel. And he says, I'm tired of being nice. He talks about how he's tired of being nice and how as long as he's here, this is the professional wrestling business, and emphasize business. Punk talked about a number of things. He said that if you told 15-year-old Punk that he'd sell out the Budokan, he wouldn't believe you. He told him that he'd do all these great things and that he'd sell out every major venue in Chicago multiple times over. He'd be surprised. And Punk kind of took a victory lap because he's done all these things. Punk he put over the fans of Chicago. He said that they were very smart and passionate fans and that he loved them because they loved him. He went on.
Smart.
He went on to say that unfortunately, the very reasons why that these Chicago fans love him for being passionate, for being, someone who always stands up for himself. He said that there's people out there that hate him for these reasons. The crowd immediately booed. There were some "fuck the elite" chants.
That's what they were saying. I was wondering what those chants were.
They chanted "fuck the elite" in an AEW environment. Which is probably why Joe said this was almost Bizarro World, like a very different environment. Big "fuck the elite" chants. He said there's people that hate me for these things. Punk said that regarding an apology, for those in the arena who want an apology, he said, I apologize that you guys are softer than the wrestlers you like. He kept repeating, one of the big refrains from this promo was, tell me when I'm telling lies, and he said it repeatedly. Iz was nodding, like I got you with your lies, sir. But he kept saying, "Tell me when I'm telling lies," and he kept saying it. He said it after every big jab that he took. He said that if you want to call me your hero, you can do that. If you want to call me Pepsi Phil, you can do that. If you want to call me CM Punk, you can do that. You know what David Zaslav calls me? David Zaslav, being the head of Turner Broadcasting, said David Zaslav called him One Bill Phil, basically saying he's the money man, and said that he is the only genuine article in a business full of counterfeit bucks. He followed this by saying again, tell me when I'm telling lies. He said that he had a lot to get off his chest, had a sheepish grin on his face as he was saying this. We got some more
a sheepish grin.
A sheepish grin, And CM Punk said that some people brag about having the best dog collar match, and that he didn't need to say that because he won the dog collar match. Tell me when I'm telling lies. And the boots that were around his neck, he basically said, if you want to shut me up, you're gonna have to fill my boots for me. CM Punk basically said like, he said the king is back, and basically said like, look, you want me to shut the fuck up, take the mantle and prove that you're better than me. And so he held up the shoes, he held up the red bag with seemingly the dog collar or the championship. It's kind of unclear, and he walked out, and that was CM Punk's return promo to All Elite Wrestling. Joe, I'm going to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
What were you feeling watching this live? What did you make of this promo? How did you feel about it?
Very, very captivating television. I have honestly no interest or intention to relitigate the rights and wrongs of the content. It's not of interest to me. But like, Punk is very, very capable of making you feel differently to everyone else on the show. And a lot of that is circumstantial because there's a lot of just weirdness that follows Punk because he's had such a unique, frankly bizarre career, right? In so many ways. And there are these moments in time that wrestling TV presents, and this was one of them. And I've always a terrific promo. I think he's capable of better promos when he is more, when he has a more clear focus. Like when he gets in this feud with Joe, or when he gets in a feud with whoever it's going to be, Max. I think he can kind of really delve into that better. But for this, I think he had an interesting challenge on his hands because he had to address it, right? He had to. But you can only address it so far when clearly that's not next up, even if it's down the line, which we'll see in that regard. So I thought he did a good job of that. And ultimately, the main purpose of the promo was, if you love CM Punk, you came out of it pumping your chest saying, damn right, my guy's back, the king is back. If you hate CM Punk, you were saying, fuck CM Punk, I can't wait someone kick this guy's ass. I think that's what he was looking for. So in that regard, it worked a treat. But Punk he's blessed with that ability to break the TV, is a phrase that's been used previously by Hamworth Reviews, who was talking about how like he's got that unique ability to make you forget what you're watching at times. He's very, very compelling, and this was no different. So I love the segment. It was terrific.
I see what you mean there, because it's like, again, like in 2023, we all know that wrestling is a work and it's not real, right? But when this guy comes on and speaks, it's like everybody, regardless of how you feel about him, they forget like that it's a TV show, and they like just kind of have genuine reactions to the words he's saying. And I think regardless of where you fall in the spectrum of Punk opinion, you feel pretty strongly in some way, shape, or form about the things that he says. And so I just kind of want to leave that before I kind of give my full review. I want to take a take from Anna. Anna, what did you make of this? How did you feel as you're watching it? What did you think of CM Punk's return to AEW here with this promo?
I had like a different experience because I didn't watch it live.
Right.
So when I woke up this morning, I saw like the timeline just going up in flames or something, like everyone going crazy, talking about the promo. Like it's like the same thing with the interview, everyone like going insane, like he said something super problematic, super this or that, like a polemic. And then when I went to watch it, I was like, oh, was that it? I feel like because I saw the tweets before and it wasn't something so like a live experience, I guess. For me, it didn't hit as hard. I wasn't like, oh my God, look what he's saying. I was like, oh, that was it, I guess, I don't know if it was because I was expecting, because of the tweets, I was expecting it like to be so much more than what it was. And I feel like it was, like
fairly tame,
okay.
I guess. In terms of
it was tame. Yeah, it was fairly tame. I was expecting him to go a lot harder, but maybe it was a good decision that he didn't, because even being tame, people were going insane for no fucking reason. So, but I think it was like, yeah, it was okay.
I want your analysis, Anna. Okay. He's like,
I don't know. I want to hear from Israel because I know.
Oh, she's going last. She has a very scary smile on her face, and it kind of makes me uncomfortable. I feel like she's gonna like kill my goat. But before we do that, I want to ask one more thing to Anna. What do you think his intention was? Like, do you think he wants to be booed? Do you think it's more of a I don't give a fuck, feel how you want to feel about me, I'm just gonna speak and be CM Punk? Or do you think he's just like, in his mind, it's like, no, I'm a total babyface and I'm just gonna say this stuff and whatever? Like, what do you think was his intention going into saying all these things?
I think his like Joe said it, I think he's in the position of like, if people like him, they're gonna love the promo. If people don't like him, they're gonna hate the promo, and he doesn't care. I feel like he's appealing to the people that like him, but at the same time taking jabs at the people who don't like him. So he's very comfortable in that position, and like he doesn't give a fuck. You can love it if you want, you can hate it if you want, and doesn't care. He's just gonna do what he's gonna do, you know. And I feel that's the best position for him to be, and he will eventually have a full heel turn. I feel like, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel that position for him right now is the best place. Like it wouldn't be smart if he just came back like super babyface guy. That wouldn't make sense. And I feel like a super heel as well in Chicago also wouldn't make sense. So I feel like it was the perfect middle that they found for him. But yeah, I think the whole promo was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was nothing too much. I was expecting more. I can say that for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how it's gonna come off when like he's fully ingratiated into like a legitimate like feud, because this was just kind of like an I'm back and I'm gonna talk thing rather than like setting up a concrete story. There were a couple nuggets, and so here's my 2 cents before we go to the first lady. Bret Hart in 1997 was a guy who was basically like, I'm gonna speak my truth and I'm gonna get booed everywhere for it except Canada, right? And I think that's what CM Punk is going for upon his return. It's basically, I'm a babyface in Chicago just for being from Chicago. And everywhere else, why is this? Come on, everywhere else, people are gonna feel how they feel. I thought it was very provocative. You know what I mean? I thought it was one of those things where you're gonna feel strongly, like I said earlier. I love the line he treads. I love that like CM Punk blurs the lines with wrestling. I think it's good that it feels real and that you feel passionately about what he's talking about. I think that's an element that you need in pro wrestling. I don't like the rampant, inherent, clear cooperation that we see everywhere on these shows, where like it just feels like with every wrestling that you watch, it just feels like you're watching friends having fun together on TV. And sometimes it's fine, but sometimes I would like to see some genuine tension and animosity. And so I love this promo. I thought that the jabs were great for just reestablishing it, because it would have been insulting to not address the situation. And the MJF stuff, the stuff about the dog collar, I think it really sets us up for a nice trilogy ender with him and Max. And I think it also sets us up for a match where MJF not only beats him, but almost turns babyface in the process. I think that him and Punk wrestling and doing a double turn to cement Punk as heel is probably the correct play to do. I don't know when they do that, but I think that
Mm.
they should do that. So I'm looking
I
forward to
just
that.
okay. I just don't want Punk to win the title again. I don't know
He's
if we're
not
gonna
gonna
talk
he's not
about
gonna
it.
beat Max. He's not gonna beat Max.
Please,
No, he's not.
please, we don't need it. Like third time is not the charm. Like we
No,
tried that, didn't
listen.
work. Let's move on.
The
Like
point of MJF Punk to do it again is to show that Max is everything that he thought he was the first time, when he was this little kid beating his chest, saying like, "Oh man, you used to be my idol, but I don't give a fuck about you now, and I'm better than you." And he really wasn't at the time in storyline, right? And now he's absolutely what he said he was at that time, and so that's how I see it.
yeah,
So I
I
thought the
hope
whole
so.
yeah.
I
Listen,
assume that's the match for Chicago, right? All Out. I would
maybe
guess that's the
maybe
pay-per-view main event.
perhaps we'll
We'll
see.
see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
it's yeah. I love the opening segment. Isra, what
Yeah,
did you
I
think?
just oh sorry.
Mhm.
As far as I just gotta say like the one line that he talked about like the wrestlers who like the soft like that
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
That was very funny to me coming up the whole thing with like him being scared of Hangman Page. That was just very funny to me. But yeah, okay, sorry. I just needed
Some
to
people
comment
might
on that.
say scared. I think it's just not nice to get chopped
Yes,
in the
very
mouth.
scared.
Scared.
Very scared. Just
You know,
trembling.
scared of the cowboy. Isra, what did you think of CM Punk's return promo?
I just want to start by saying that mental health matters. This is something that means a lot to me personally, and also, everyone around me. I don't want to ever make anyone feel like there's something wrong with them. And also, it's important to approach the topic of narcissism with empathy, because individuals with narcissistic traits, they often have deep-rooted insecurities that drives their behavior. One thing about one CM Punk is he's just not a good actor,
Is that a
right?
Pepsi joke?
Don't bring me into this here, but I'm staying out of this thing.
I always preferred Coke. The thing is, his insecurities drive the contents of this entire promo that we saw last night, right? He started off by saying, he's tired of being nice, but when has he ever been nice? The problem with Punk is that his delusions drive him. He can't be fake. I believe that he believes everything that he says. I don't think he knows how insane he sounds. that's also kind of what makes him a good heel. Like, he's not a good actor. Like, he's just not. So he's a good heel genuinely because he's a jarring individual. You know, he kept repeating in his promo, tell me when I'm telling lies. Thank you.
Thank you, the bearded bear.
I want to say 80% of his promo was him lying, or possibly even just coping with the past eight or 9 months, however long he's been gone, right? Like, he said, I'm tired of being nice. CM Punk, who's never been nice a day in his life, is tired of being nice.
Very nice guy. Yeah.
He called his fans smart.
Yeah, he said they're very smart.
He knows damn well, and we all know.
Oh
we all know that's not true. He said that this shit is not a popularity contest, but not being liked literally keeps him up at night. Whether it be the fans or his peers not liking him, that shit keeps him up at night. And let's not act like we don't know. Like, we know. And also when he said the only thing softer than us is the wrestlers that we like, but he's softer than even those wrestlers. I just think that promo, like, he thought that he was really eating. He thought this was going to kill everybody. I need the Stooges to pipe down, please. He thought he was eating, just like how you think you eat every time you cut me off. But just like you, he's a man who has very little self-awareness, thinks everything revolves around him, and that everything that comes out of his mouth is meaningful, even when it's a crock of shit. When 80% of the time, it is a crock of shit. If he wants to, feed into the whole, like, if everyone wants me to be the bad guy, fuck it, I'll be the bad guy. Bro, be so fucking for real. Like, if you're going to be anything, be for real right now. I just didn't get what he was trying to get at. Like, are you trying to be a heel? That's the first thing he said. I'm tired of being nice, right? No more Mr. Nice Phil. That's how we started. But by the end of it, like, he was like talking about, like, oh, you can call me whatever you want. I'm doing this for my smart fans. And like, which one is it, bro? Like, are you tired of being nice and you just want to go full on dickhead? Or are you just trying to, like, embrace your fans and be the guy that, like, that some people can look up to, people that don't get us, Which one is it? Like, I don't.
Can you do that shoulder swivel again when he said "get us"?
Anyways, this guy, the promo was inconsistent. His delivery was inconsistent. I don't think he knows what he's even trying to say. Like, I think by the end of it, like, what was the message that you're trying to deliver? Like, is it fuck everybody? Is it I'm trying to run this shit? Wrestling revolves around me. Wrestling is a business. It ain't no friendly shit. But, like, is that because you can't make no friends and no one fucking likes you? Like, which one? Like, I just think he's really confused. He's washed up. I think he's 45 years old and needs to hang those boots up that he had around his neck. Or maybe he can hang them. Never mind.
I have a question.
I was going to say some crazy shit. But listen, he needs to get his shit together fully. Because if you're going to come back and make some kind of grand return, just because your fans will eat up every single thing that you say doesn't mean that anything you're saying is valid or makes sense or creative or witty or anything. Like, I really think he was like, I'm just going to try to be myself. But as the promo was going on, I'm seeing him unravel. Like, I'm seeing him not even know what his own identity is. For me to, like, as the consumer, as someone who doesn't know this man in real life, never spoke to him in my life. Like, I've only ever watched him on TV or if I've never watched him on TV, right? And this is my first time seeing him. I will be so confused as to what the hell is going on or what my attachment should be to this man or why I should continue to watch this man. It's really just giving identity crisis. And that's just that. It wasn't moving me. I don't know who it was moving besides his fans that will literally be moved if he took the mic and farted on it. Like, I just don't. We're not the same. We're not the same.
So I have a question for you, Isra. You were saying how, like, that it was struggling between, like, I want to be a heel versus I want to pander to my fans. Again, like I opened my thing with, I'm Brett in 97. My base is my people in my hometown, and everybody else can fucking hate me. Do you think face and heel alignments need to be so strong and defined that they have to be one way or the other? You don't think there's nothing, like, you don't like the idea of playing in the gray area for now?
No, you're making a grand return, and you're like still kind of treading between wanting to be liked by your psychotic fan base or wanting to lean into being hated by, you know, the large majority of people that hate his guts. It just doesn't make any kind of sense. Like, you should just either go all in or just act like the shit never happened. Because if you're acknowledging that the shit happened, then you better acknowledge that you were fucking dead wrong fully. But he's not trying to do that. Like, he doesn't want to admit that he's wrong. He doesn't want to give a public apology. He doesn't want to even like act like he was wrong in any fucking capacity, which is what kills me. Because the first thing you're gonna say when you're coming out, I'm tired of being nice, and then you make that what was that shit that he said about counterfeit bucks, right? Yeah, so you're throwing shade, but you don't want to fully be the bad guy. Like, I just don't understand. This is why I'm saying it's like an identity crisis. Like, what does he want to be? Don't ask me what I want to see, because I'm not the one writing the shit. I'm just a bitch sitting in front of my TV. What the fuck are you trying to convey to me? Is what I want to know. It's just all over the place. It don't make any kind of fucking sense. And like, I would rather just wait for like his shit to end to see what else was going on in Collision. Like, just show me Christian.
What I struggle with personally when it comes to some of the responses to this, including Isras, is that I feel like people are like applying like real world logic to like his words, and like
he's talking about hold on, because he's talking about real shit. He was suggesting real shit. You know?
Yeah, but like, listen, if he said all those things that he said in the promo in his like ESPN interview, it'd be like, okay, this guy's like kind of like going insane. But like as a TV character, for him to be kind of flawed, potentially problematic, and in some cases delusional and or incorrect, I mean, look, he is a character, and I think for me, like for a villain, right? Like I love villains who, you know, ultimately what they're doing is wrong and how they're going about what they're doing is wrong, but it's like they're rooted in their own self-motivation that you can understand. And so for you to say like, oh, CM Punk is insane, or he's this and that, and he's wrong about A, B, and C, and why didn't he just apologize on TV? That's like almost antithetical to the point of professional wrestling, because the point of professional wrestling is to create personal issues and then draw from that. So for me, like, that's just me. I'm just saying
he's not okay. If this could be the case, if him and the Bucks were addressing each other, this is completely irrelevant to like him being completely separate from the Bucks. You're gonna be separate from each other, right? You're the aggressor, right? So you have this whole segregation going on within your company, because it's people that don't want to look at you in your face, and people that are willing to overlook the fact that you a dickhead. You know, either side can, you know, is valid because of it is what it is, right? But okay, you're not gonna address the Bucks face to face, any of them, or even Moxley or anyone else, right?
Okay.
You're just like hiding behind your show and throwing shade, but like still don't know what the fuck you are. Like, are you gonna like fully go into this shit? Like, is the Collision gonna be the Young Bucks and Hangman and Kenny Omega show? Like, which one is it? I just don't get like what, for this to be the very first episode, right? I'm thinking this is gonna set the tone for the identity of the entire show.
Right.
That promo did not tell me shit besides I'm an insecure little man. That's all it told me. I'm not getting like, okay, this is what Collision's going to be about. This is the kind of identity we're going to have. No, it was like, I'm going to be a dickhead. We're here because I am a dickhead, simply put. And no one wants to work with me except for the people that are here. They're willing to look past the shit. And that's that. He could have just said that. He could have just been like, hey, what's up, guys? Like in a vlogger type of voice, and been like, hey, like this is some new shit. Like, welcome. Like, I don't know. Like, I honestly think he should have just did that, because what was the point of the fucking promo then? What was the message he was trying to send? Okay, so you're CM Punk's biggest fan.
Sure.
You're probably the only person that really fuck with him, really. What after the promo is done? After the promo is done,
right?
What did you get from it? Did you like, as someone who, this is the first episode of Collision, I'm gonna turn this back around on you. This is the first episode of Collision. He needs to establish some type of identity for the show, or some type of identity for himself moving forward, because it's his first time coming back, right? So you tell me, what is that identity? What is being pushed?
My big takeaway about it was, this is a different CM Punk than the guy who returned in 2021. This is a very angry and spiteful person who's not going to hold back on being that. And that on this show, I'm still CM Punk. I'm the fucking best, and I'm gonna keep talking my shit until someone proves me otherwise. And so, to me, I think on a micro level, there was very little setups for like a week to week type thing. But I think on a broader sense, the stage that was set to me was this is a place where you can step the fuck in and prove me wrong, or not do that. And so I do think that there's almost a tough guy identity that was set forth with the direction of his words, especially following with a lot of the types of wrestlers that we saw later on, like for like a Miro and an Andrade and stuff like that. And so that's how I took it. Like I took it like that, and I almost took it like an arcade fighting game where it was like it was almost hard to predict what was going to happen next because we don't know what the formula of the show is going to be. So there was this like new challenger vibe as like guys were walking out, kind of showing their shit. It's a lot of guys who were getting their second chance in AEW doing that, and so it was almost like I don't give a fuck about this drama. I'm Andrade. I'm back too. Look at me, and he's doing his thing, and then same thing with Miro. And so I think that's going to eventually come to a head in some respects. The last thing I want to ask you, though, Isra, is I think you made some fair points. And I do think that like an element of this also is, will the Elite get involved in this in terms of storyline? And if not, like what's the productivity in it? My question to you is then, if hypothetically members of the Elite kind of like take their kind of cute jabs back at CM Punk on their show, would you have a problem with that too? And I'll ask Anna that next too.
Well, what was the first part of the question?
Basically, just if the Elite kind of do what Phil did here on their show, and throw subs,
I feel like there's gonna be some like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B type of beef between the two shows. Like I think you just gotta pick your side. Like I think some people are Barbs and some people are Barty Gang. Some people are with the Elite, some people are with Punk, and some people, one side is gonna genuinely believe that the other side was wrong. The other side might think the other side is wrong, or whatever the case might be, right? So, the way I look at it, if you're gonna ask me, I'm thinking like, Punk was the aggressor. I think he's wrong. So I would rather be on the side of Hangman Adam Page in particular, right? So if he was to throw jabs in this hypothetical that you put up, right? If he was to throw jabs at Punk, I think it's fully justified. I think it's fully justified. And I think Punk should have to eat it.
What do you think, Anna?
I like the story with the Elite right now. For me, like they should just do their own thing for now. Like don't get involved, don't throw jabs. Just
just ignore him.
Just ignore him. Let him like go crazy on his own. Like honestly, like he's gonna be there, like saying his shit, going insane, and they're gonna just be there having their amazing matches and their rivalry with the BCC. Like I don't see a reason why I interact with him right now.
I'm just sorry, Dan, the way you're framing it, I'm just picturing this vision of like them having like these like athletic ass tag matches and shit, and Phil's just on Saturday like, anyway, as I was saying about elite people.
That's probably what's gonna happen though.
Honestly.
Why are you talking about me, bro? Oh no, Ricky Starks, $1.99. I'm not reading that. Someone can take that shit. I'm not fucking.
Evu, honey, you left your cardigan in my place again. Are you gonna get your cardigan from his place? You want me to get it?
Because I don't. You can get it. I don't own cardigans.
I find that hard to believe.
So Emily sent $5. Thank you. I want to see what his reception will be now that he isn't in Chicago anymore. Also, he looks kind of sickly. Not gonna lie. Not sure if he can go anymore in the ring. Emily, you are so smart. You're one of the smart wrestling fans that he was talking about. He do look like he's on crack.
Punk always kind of had that like gangly. That's just how that's just Punk.
I just want everyone to know. Me and Punk have had beef for over a decade now. The fact that he
explain this.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say explain the CM Punk Isra lore. Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna do that. But just know that it's deep. It's deep over here.
They have real beef. You've been blocked for like a decade, Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder.
We saw this one already.
Did we?
Yeah. He said no one's bigger than.
Yeah, that's just a fact, whether you like him or not. He's a fucking.
It's really not, because like you ask anybody that don't watch wrestling but might know of wrestling, they're not gonna bring up CM Punk. They're gonna bring up like some fucking John Cena and Batista and shit. Like,
I want to share a story about something that happened to me at work.
I would go as far to say the Bella Twins are definitely more known than CM Punk. Don't disrespect two queens.
Joe, help me.
Go up to any woman outside. Hangman, I don't know if you be going outside and talking to women for real, but ask any woman Hey, what can you tell me about the Bella Twins? And then what can you tell me about CM Punk? I promise you.
So I've been in this business for a while, and I've learned a lot on my ups and downs, throughout the roads. And the biggest thing you can learn is sometimes you need to just stay on the apron. And around 15 minutes ago, I made the decision that I would be staying on this apron until we move to the next segment. That is what I've done. I've enjoyed what I've seen. I've watched it with everyone else watching along at home. We hope you're enjoying it too.
It's good discussion.
I will not be part of this particular piece of the debate. So please proceed as you will.
Ray J with $2. Shout out to Big Bro Ryan Nemeth. For those that don't know who this man is, which is probably most of you, Ryan Nemeth is the younger brother of Dolph Ziggler.
that was crazy, man.
He's the younger brother of Dolph Ziggler, and he is a regular on BTE, which is Being the Elite, a show run by the Young Bucks on social media. And Ryan Nemeth tweeted yesterday during CM Punk's promo, literally the softest wrestler alive, or something along those lines. Thank you, Ray.
Oh, he did? He's so real for that.
What's your favorite Ryan Nemeth move? Sarah Hoskins, $1.99. Thank you so much. Her profile picture is Grimace. Chi-Town Spurs, $5. Anna, you could take this one.
Idris said it better than I could. It's why I think his focus on Hangman so much. Punk sees him as a younger, better version of himself. I mean, better he is, yeah.
Better, yes, but version, I wouldn't say Hangman is a version.
I don't see like how Punk could look at Hangman and say, "Oh, he's just like me for real." Like, there's no comparison.
He's just like me for real.
No, there's
you kind of remind me of me.
Very different types of wrestlers.
Really, if Punk really does think that, then he's more delusional than I was talking about, honestly. If he thinks Hangman is a younger version of him.
Take this one, sir.
Soraya Hoskins, $1.99. Thank you. I don't care about AEW. I am just here for it. Thank you. Soraya, I love you.
Thank you, Miss Hoskins. Wrestle Vibes with Riven Blade, $5.50 Canadian. Going on vacation for 3 weeks. Thanks for the convo. CM Punk cut a great promo. CM Punk cut a great promo. If we view him as a delusional heel. Take care, folks. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a delusional heel. Thank you so much, Wrestle Vibes. Berkey, $1.99. Is CMFTR, fascist, a thing, and will FTR chin heel? Yet to be seen, Berkey. Yet to be seen. If that's you, never mind. Average Foodie, what currency is this? What are we looking at here, Bing Bong? What are we looking at here, Bing Bong?
I have no idea, brother. I have no clue.
Is it? I think maybe Jens.
It's a fascinating comment, regardless.
Yeah. I'm now reading it. Hey, Isra, you look cute. I wish you go on date with me. Isra, how about Mercedes money in AEW Collision, and TK should book 4 match at least in 5 hours of TV.
I saw this like an hour ago.
Thank you. Thank you, Average Foodie. I'm sure a lot of people would wish I would go on a date with them, but you see, you're all the way in India. I appreciate you though. Thank you. How do I feel? Wait, they asked something about Mercedes. What did they say about Mercedes?
Monty. Something about him.
I think Mercedes got better stuff to do than be on Collision, to be honest.
I'd love to see Mercedes on Collision with Willow Nightingale.
I do think that there's like some good opponents that like Sky Blue, Willow. But my dream match in terms of like AEW adjacent women is Athena. So honestly, like Mercedes can go to ROH for all I care. As long as I get that match, I don't care if it's in goddamn Impact.
Hopefully not Impact, you know.
I agree though.
Ray J, $2. Shout out Big Bro Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher, one member of Aussie Open, he revealed yesterday that he is in a relationship with Sky Blue. So congratulations to him. Bob the Builder, $2.20 Canadian. No one more controversial in wrestling than CM Punk. Absolutely true. And controversy, as Eric Bischoff says, creates cash. Thank you.
You know, also I want to add, because I just saw a comment that triggered something, right? Yes, Mercedes and Punk do chill, I guess. They're cool with each other, something like that. But see, Punk his pocket's not deep enough, I don't think, to secure Mercedes. He gives me cheap. Like, you see the way that man dressed. Like, he can't afford Mercedes.
I think he could. He's one bill Phil, as David Zaslav says.
Show me the bills.
Mario Judah, $4.99. Punk got slabbed in the face in a wrestling match and cried about it, and he's calling people soft. Slabbed is crazy.
What does that mean?
I don't want to know. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Shout out to Muscle Joe. Joey Bing Bong with the big guns. Mario Judah, thank you for the super chat. Being slabbed in the face is something that I don't want to think about, but thank you for the super chat, Mario Judah.
Nice.
Pop the Builder, 220 Canadian. Calling it now, the all-in main event is MJF Punk 3. I think so too. I think there's a good chance of that. And I think
all in or all out?
Feels like all out to me because Chicago, right?
Yeah, I think.
Right.
Yeah, all in is the one in. I think all in is maybe out in cold, right?
Sure. You know what? That makes sense, sure. Anna. And you know what, Anna? If Punk beats Max, you got to be on the pod, and we got to.
Anna, hold on. Let me have a conversation with. Let me talk to my Wrestle Peers Diva sister real quick. Okay. You know how when we was doing Wrestle Peers Divas, we would talk about what's for the bitches and what's not, right? What CM Punk match? I want you to look me in my eye and don't lie to me.
Okay.
Like any CM Punk match, right? In Collision, that's for the bitches. What is that match?
In Collision.
Yeah.
Oh, a match that can happen in Collision. That is hard because when it's like what's CM Punk match, the first one I thought was the one with Hangman, but that's just because Hangman. And I was like, okay,
what do bitches want to see? Because I can't think of nothing.
Yeah.
I can't think of
Andrade? Rude? Danielson?
Andrade's a handsome devil.
I'm sorry, I'm a handsome bastard,
I don't know.
No, the thing is for me, like, okay, I don't think the matches would be great because I don't know how much you can keep up in the ring with them. It would be a little carry job,
I think if he faced Roosh, it would be all vibes, intensity, and chops, and that's kind of Punk's thing. So
that would be incredible, that match.
I think they'd have an awesome match.
I think it'd be easier. Him and Roosh would have an easier kind of middle ground than him and Andrade, I think.
Yeah.
I would like the match with Roosh because I would like to see Roosh just going crazy, chopping him, hitting him, making him bleed and stuff.
And the thing is,
I like that.
So really, Anna, you're just saying that whoever he's going against has to make him look good.
Yeah, basically. Because that's the thing, that's what we're going to talk about the main event,
no.
But that's what I felt, they made him look so good, but we knew that it was the other people doing that,
Yeah.
A little bit of both, We'll definitely get into that. A little bit of both, but, a little bit of both. There's tons of guys that I'm not one of quote unquote the bitches, but there's tons of matches I'd love to see. I'm not a member of the Wrestle Peers Divas, but there's funny Punk matches I'd love to see.
But you're the biggest one.
No, definitely not. I'm not one of the ladies, but
I don't know. Let's ask Ricky Starks about that.
No, all right. The man who claims I left the cardigan in his hotel room.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just that there's no CM Punk match that I want to watch. And I feel like that's the bottom line for me. Yeah.
Same.
What was your favorite match of his run before his injury?
The Hangman match for sure.
Did you like?
I like the one with MJF, but not the dog collar match. The first one.
The first one in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago one. Yeah,
that was good.
I like that one better than the dog collar actually.
I think he has great chemistry with Max. I think Max gets him and gets his style, and they're very both storytelling oriented wrestlers. I think they'd have a great match personally. The
one with Eddie was also good, but that match I was really expecting it to finish just like Eddie doing one back fist, and that was the end of the match. That would have been the perfect booking for me.
I'm mad. You just reminded me that that's actually my favorite CM Punk AEW match.
The match is incredible.
It felt like they were just freestyling too, Joe. They just ran at each other and just doing shit. You know what I mean?
That was when you have these heated feuds and there's that cliche that folks like us that do this say where it's they shouldn't lock up, they should just fight. And I've kind of learned through the years that that's easier said than done to portray that in a way that's exciting and dramatic because not many guys are actually good at that. Like actually truly brawling in a wrestling fashion. That match is like an embodiment of that whole idea. They jump on each other immediately, and Eddie is. I mean, that's probably the performance of Eddie's life, and I said that as a huge fan of King. And there's that moment right where Punk gets busted open, and he gets up and he like sees the blood in his face, and it's like he turns into a different dude. It's an incredible.
It's amazing, also, Joe, because like you buy in the moment that Eddie Kingston hates CM Punk, like as you're watching it.
That's the beauty of King, man. Absolutely.
And the other beauty is both guys don't call their matches in the back or like practice it. So like they walked out and everything you saw was just stuff that they felt in the moment. So when they both decided we're gonna give each other middle fingers at the same time and shit, and spit on each other and slap each other, and Punk decides mid-match, I'm gonna do John Cena's 5 moves of doom. Like it's magic,
Yeah, it's special. It's really, really special.
I need to see them run it back for sure. But before we dive any further on that, we do have to move on with the review. Luchasaurus, guys.
Oh my God, we don't gotta do the review.
we unfortunately do. I thought
so fucking goofy.
I'm gonna say it ahead of time. I thought this was kind of dog shit, but but in a weird way, it didn't come off that bad because like the crowd was into it. But this was like kind of dog shit. Luchasaurus walks out with Christian to face Wardlow. And I don't know about you guys. I feel like Wardlow is like he lost everything that like he just lost. He's just lost like he I don't know what he even is at this point.
He's a swaggerless wimp now, unfortunately.
Yeah, he walked out and they have a big man match and they do some stuff and they do some more stuff. And then Christian hits Wardlow. It's funny when the finish happened, I had to rewind because I just didn't. It caught me off guard. I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Oh, he lost it now." But Christian interfered, and Luchasaurus won the TNT Championship, and Christian held the belt up.
Christian won the championship because had Christian not been involved in the match, Luchasaurus would have lost. So.
I'll give you guys a little bit of a backup Hangman Select scoop here. Christian is the TNT champion.
Yeah,
for all intents and purposes.
He is.
Like not even memeing like he's the TNT champion. How the fuck does that make any logical sense? I don't know, but that's what they're doing. And look, I like Christian as a wrestler, and I think Christian having weekly matches is going to be fun. But Joey Bing Bong, what do you think about the match? What do you think about this development in the story with Christian? What do you think of this whole piece of business?
I think like a lot of this is a fascinating situation to me. I don't know what to make of most of this. In every which way. The fact that it existed and was booked to begin with was kind of confusing to me, and watching it was more so. This is like a 10-minute match with multiple individual spots that I found to be like visually impressive, and yet I would still conclude I thought the match sucked. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really know why. There was no rhythm to this match whatsoever. Luchasaurus' ability to like steer the ship as a heel in a control segment is almost non-existent, honestly. He could just do stuff. And it was really, I found it to be puzzling that they went this long. And I looked after and it was 10 minutes. It felt like it went on for a lifetime to me. I don't know. It didn't work for me as a match. I loved the post-match with Christian Cage. He's a terrific character and he awesome. Immediately nailed that, right? And I've been transparent. I'm not a huge Wardlow guy, so I'm not like bummed out about what this means of him, even though it clearly feels like it's almost like conceding,
that he's fucked, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy after like the recent efforts to kind of do a rebuild with on. So yeah, I don't hate the direction by any means. I was a strange choice for first match on Collision. Now I will say I understand the idea of we do a title change out of the gate. It makes it clear to the audience this is a show where things are going to happen of significance. But it did not get the show off to a great start in ring for me. I thought the match was pretty bad, frankly. So it was not for me, to say the least.
Yo, Anna, what is that picture?
You just noticed it? We talked about this an hour ago.
I didn't know what it was.
Adam Cole with Bryan Danielson's
face. That's the most stoner reaction. Like we all like laughed it's like an hour ago, and now it's like an hour later. It's like that was a Manny moment by history. Like, what is this?
What is that? Like,
it's Danielson and Cole mixed together. I'll tell you this, Joe. The crowd was so jacked up from the Punk promo that it almost like gave this some momentum to like not die live.
Yeah.
And I feel like that worked in the sense that had this gone later, this would have probably maybe died. And whereas the other matches that went on later were just better wrestling matches that can like win a crowd over the course of the match because of the work. But yeah, Christian's cool. I don't really care about Wardlow, and I think Luchasaurus is kind of bad, but that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Anna, what do you think of this?
I feel like I've complained about the booking of the TNT title here before, months ago, and it's still impressive to me that the booking is still shit. Like, it's so bad. I hate the booking of the title. Like, what was the point of taking the title off Hobbs? Why? Like, what was that for? It makes no fucking sense. They built the whole thing with Hobbs winning the title, and then he loses in his first match against Wardlow. Like, no, and then for what? For this? It's like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Title run accomplished.
Exactly, like it makes no sense. If they wanted to do the thing with Luchasaurus and Christian, they could have done that with Powerhouse Hobbs as well. Like I don't know, like I just feel like everything around the booking of this title for me is so bad. Like since the whole Sammy and Scorpio Sky thing, it never recovered. Just never recovered for me.
I will say, Anna, Mr. Bing Bong. Since Scorpio Sky and Sammy, this belt has been wretched, except for a very, very brief stretch. Can you name me, sir, the stretch where this belt had a brief 6-week revival, sir?
I seem to recall a certain king of television being crowned and bringing the real back to the TNT title, and then them immediately erasing it once he had lost it the second time. Because him and Darby traded it, right? Yeah, but you're right. That's like a much shorter stay than honestly even feels like. It was not a long time, but Joe his presence is such, it felt like this. But yeah, other than that, it's been almost a year of bad TNT title stuff.
Absolutely.
Like that's the thing. Like the booking has been so bad that I forgot that happened.
Yeah,
I forgot that Joe even won the title.
It's crazy, Anna, because Darby and Joe were having these really great matches, and it was like, wow, the TNT title's back. And then like, how did Wardlow win it? He beat Joe, right?
He choked Joe out, man.
Fuck.
Joe let him choke him unconscious. That was like a serious effort to make Wardlow matter again. Then he immediately lost to Hobbs the Wednesday after.
Yo, who is booking that division, bro?
It's awful, man. It's so bad.
That's crazy, dog. That's like Vince McMahon booking.
Like, I'm really counting on Christian to make the title like feel like it matters again because I trust Christian and I just love Christian. But I don't know, with the way that they booked that title, I fully expect Wardlow to have the title back by next week. Like, I don't know. It's just dumb.
I do wonder what they
do.
That's
cute. It's like giving like 24/7 title.
Yes.
Yeah,
like we can make that a vibe. I don't think it's that serious. Doesn't feel like an important belt, to be honest.
It must be
that match
was right.
What did you think, Isra?
What the match?
Yeah.
Or it was. I wish you could have seen how bad I rolled my eyes when I seen Wardlow and Luchasaurus come out. I'm like, why? Why is this the first match? But then I saw Christian. That lifted my spirits, especially after seeing like that terrorist with the opening promo. It really did breathe some life into me. So I love him for that. The match put me to sleep, but then Christian winning the belt at the end woke me up again.
So I'll ask you
that's his
question.
Belt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Christian becoming the TNT champion without having to wrestle, would you call that camp?
I would say that's cunt. I would really say like Christian put his whole pussy in that match. Just in the 2 seconds of him being involved. You know what I mean?
Oh, my wrist.
Damn, you took that shit straight on my notes. Damn, that's crazy. That was my next talk.
Here's a Christian put his whole Yo,
damn.
Anna, a long time.
I know Joe was like contemplating his whole life right now.
I had it queued up.
Anna, one time I was talking to Israel, and I was just ranting about how good Danielson is, and like Israel has this knack of like just like iterating what I made, like basically expressing the idea I did in like one sentence. And so I'm like having this long rant about like how Danielson's such a good worker and a good seller and da 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 da, and she just goes, "His pussy is good." Like, all right.
Okay. How do you respond to that? Do you like the thumbs up emoji? Like, what do you?
Yeah.
Nah, bro. He was like on a whole tangent about like the intricacies of Danielson and how this makes him in like an elite level star. I'm just like, honestly,
So
like
is
his
that-
pussy is just real good. Like, I
So
don't know.
for you, Israel, are you basically saying when you do that, Tibu, you basically saying, "I get it, like enough, I understand, I'm in, I'm with it." Like,
Oh, look at the chat. So they call him Coochie Cage.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Someone said Crystal C.
Coochie Cage is fucking insane.
My limbs hurt. Someone take the next segment. What's next on the lineup? Hold on. Let me fucking.
Yeah, what was the next segment?
Joe, recap QT Marshall and Power Hobbs backstage. I don't even know what the fuck they said.
Piece of shit. They did a backstage promo in which Powerhouse Hobbs reiterated his place on the press release.
Yo, turn your mic off, bro.
And officially entered the Owen Hart Cup. Anna, what do you think of Hobbs' chances to take home the cup? Do you think he's got a shot?
I think because after Ricky Starks also enters, I think there's a chance of maybe that being the final or them having like a match during the tournament. And I think that would be like nice for the story of it all. But I don't see him winning just because the tournament has the whole thing, like the respect to Owen Hart and stuff. And I don't see like a Hill taking it to that point. It doesn't make sense.
Agree.
Like,
no, I agree completely.
Yeah, I don't see him winning. Yeah.
He feels like an obvious candidate to lose in the final. Honestly, like I agree. I just hope he gets some shine in it. Israel, what do you think of Powerhouse Hobbs' chances in the Owen?
Okay, so this is actually my first time watching the Owen Hart Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is going to be in it?
We don't know.
Just Hobbs and Ricky, yeah.
So just Hobbs and Ricky right now? Well, out of them two, I see Hobbs taking it more so. So I mean, I like his chances. I would support it if he was to win.
I got a question for you. Do you think this tournament should focus on young up-and-comers, or should this be something where you put like a lot of the top stars in the tournament?
I just think it should be a situation where like whoever gets it is getting a push.
Yeah, I'm torn on that because definitely when it was first announced, I was hoping it would be kind of the All-Stars, and it would be like this thing we look forward to all year as like a sort of like a knockout G1 almost, you know? But there's so much going on in AEW at all times. It increasingly feels like it may be best served as like a way to actually elevate guys. But honestly, this is the one that's going to shape the way that tournament is like, you know, kind of defined, right? Well, this is going to give it its identity because the first one was just figuring out how this thing was going to look, and I think mixed results to say the least. Now we'll see if they go in one direction or the other out of the two that you just mapped out. Or maybe a mix is probably what they actually, you know, kind of wind up on. So it'll be interesting.
For sure. And my only real opinion on any of this is that I think Will Hobbs should dump QT Marshall as soon as possible.
Feels like it's going to happen, right?
Yes, for sure. The next match was Buddy Murphy. Sorry, I just botched like Dasha did.
Damn.
Buddy Matthews, you know, versus, you know what? I got a rule, Joe.
Wait, who botched?
Me. Dasha, I don't know what her last name is in AEW. Dasha, the announcer, accidentally called him Buddy Murphy.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know what, everybody? When you leave WWE to go somewhere else and you have not done anything remarkable in the new promotion, it's inevitable that people are going to remember you as like what you were in the place where you're most notable from. And so like, I would almost say that my new rule is I'm going to dead name you until you make me not dead name you.
Dead name.
Did Buddy do it? Did he do it with this performance? Because he's obviously not.
I need 3 more of those steroid classics for me to start calling him Buddy Matthews. I need 3 more. I need three more.
What do you think? What do you think his joints are made of, brother?
His joints. Buddy Matthews and Andrade El Idolo. These guys had a steroid classic, in my opinion. First of all, they walked out looking like absolute freaks, like really, like legitimately frightening human beings. Their backs and shoulders are super wide and scary looking, and you know, they just look like absolute maniacs. And like, despite being built like 2002 Triple H, these guys were doing like flips and stuff and like lucha moves, which is like hilarious. And you know, they're kicking the shit out of each other. Andrade did like a cartwheel moonsault off the apron. He was doing moves off the barricade and that kind of thing. Admirably and also hilariously, they were like selling like limbs and things like that. And like in an AEW setting, it was just kind of like hilarious and jarring to see guys this big just being like, "Oh, my arm, my leg," like in key moments in the match. But they did that, and in the closing stretches, they did each other's girls' submission moves. Andrade did the figure eight on Buddy Matthews, and Buddy Matthews did that was hot. And Buddy did Rhea Ripley's submission. Forgive me, I don't remember the name of the move, but he did do it.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, I don't know the name of her submission move.
What do I?
But he did it, and Andrade won the match with the figure eight. And after the match, I mean, he reached out his hand to shake Buddy's hand, and Buddy was thinking about what he was going to do, and then the lights went out, and then went back on, and Brody King was there and clotheslined Andrade, and Malachi Black was in the corner, and then he kind of pounced on him and attacked him, and that's where we left things there. Anna, what did you think of the return of El Idolo?
I missed him so much. Like, I love Andrade. I love his matches, and I don't care if he's a dickhead in real life, like some people say he is. I just think he's amazing, and I love that he's a dickhead. He can be, he has that energy, like he can be, if that makes sense. But like, I don't know, I just loved it. I mean, the match was good. I'm not gonna say like I loved it, but it was good. It was good. And just halfway, I don't know why, I always forget that Buddy is with Rhea, which I know it's a nightmare for him that everyone forgets.
Girl, he reminds us every day on Twitter.
I do not follow him. I don't care.
It's always all over my timeline. People laughing at him because he'll be like, "Hey, like that's my girl, remember?" And it's like,
I'm sorry to that man. I did not remember that. I was like, halfway through the match, I remembered that he was dating Rhea. I was like, oh my god, yeah, Charlotte and Rhea had like one of the best women's matches of the year in WrestleMania. And then I just started thinking about that, and I completely like unfocused on the match. And I was just like, I should rewatch that match, and I didn't pay attention.
That was a great match.
Like, not Cookie so Matthews.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but there was like that part in the middle of the match that they kind of lost me, and then like in the end when they were doing like the submissions, they got me again. So I think they could have done more, but it was good. Like, it was good, and I think for Andrade was a good return. Yeah, for sure. And I would like to see more singles matches for Buddy as well, because yeah, he does need to make a mark. One thing for me that I was very surprised when he walked in with the title, I forgot that they had the titles. I fully forgot, because they haven't been doing. Yeah, they haven't been doing anything with them, I feel like. And I don't know if that comes like from me not being able to watch so frequently anymore, but I completely forgot that they were the trio champions. Because when the elite and like that triangle, they were champions. We saw them like every week fighting and like at least doing promos and stuff. And House of Black, I feel like they just completely like forgot.
It's weird, Joe, because I feel like 2 years ago when everyone was calling for a trios division, it felt like it made super sense because like there was a million trios. Now that we have one, not like the belts exist, it feels like we don't have that many trios off the top of my head. It feels like more like a tag team plus a guy that Tony decides to make for a given week. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, let's just throw this guy with this team or something. So
because the trios, they're busy. Like the BCC is in the feud with the elite, and then like Jericho Appreciation Society has their own thing. So like the actual groups, the actual factions, they're just doing other stuff. So the trios division is just kind of lost. So they don't have anyone to put against House of Black, and then I completely forgot that they were even champions.
The other thing about it, Anna, and I don't know how you feel about this, Joe and Isra, but like I like House of Black as a trio, but like when I think about things about them that would excite me, it's mostly them in the context of singles matches. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, I want to see Malachi versus Andrade in singles. You know what I mean?
I'm torn on that. I don't disagree, but I do think they're like electric together when they actually wrestle trios matches. It's just it's more to Anna's point. It's like it's one of those weird situations where you don't want to tie your top guys up with the trios belts. But inevitably, when you make that choice, you end up with it kind of being like this bonus belt thing, where it's like it's like the last match you get to on the card of like who's not on the card, just put them in the trio to wrestle for the belts, And it's like it's a tough one. I mean, I can't disagree, but when they're together, they are incredible together. They have some great like sequences and such to do. So it's difficult. I don't know.
Isra, what did you think of Andrade and Buddy Murphy? Buddy Matthews.
Good Lord.
Oh my God.
I thought it was cute. Had like a lot of fun moments. I feel like that could have been the first match, honestly. It was all right. I don't have that many deep thoughts about it besides just that it was good. That was it.
Are you a fan of Andrade? Do you think he's somebody that deserves a bigger push in the company?
I love Andrade. I think he should go to WWE. Like, if you want me to be completely honest with you, like I think he should. Yeah.
He sure is built like a WWF wrestler now. So
Not
we'll see.
actually.
We'll see. Yeah, right. We'll see how this goes for him. We'll see how this return goes for him. Bob the Builder, 220 Canadian. Is there a Punk gonna call AJ Lee on you? Watch out.
Call her. Call her. I would love that.
Oh my god. Average foodie, 50 rupees. Hey Ibu, how about MJF versus Punk for the title like past? Foodie, I think it's gonna happen.
Agree.
Emily, $5. I'm kind of sad about Forbidden Door right now because there's not a women's match yet, and there should be more than one. Kind of disheartening. Yeah, and I feel you on that, Emily. To be honest with you, I'd love to see people like Willow Nightingale mix it up on that card. So hopefully we get something. You want to say something Ann, about this?
Yeah, like I feel the part of there should be more than one. I feel like I for that specific, I'm a big supporter of women's wrestling, but for that specific pay-per-view, I wouldn't see like how, because last year they didn't have any, and it was like, okay, it's a New Japan pay-per-view in New Japan. The Stardom girls, they're busy, because I just love Rossio so much, because he's like, oh no, we're trying to figure something out after booking every single one of his wrestlers in the show, every single one.
Yeah, no, he's a total troll. That man, his actions.
I love that so much.
And his actions said "fuck AEW," but like
I love that.
But listen, but his words like, no, we can maybe talk. Like we'll stay. I'll think about it. And,
that man is just so funny to me. I absolutely love him.
Super passive.
But yeah, he's such a carny. But yeah, I feel like they should definitely have a match for Willow. I'm expecting them to at least like announce something for her, because now it makes sense. Like, they have the title there. Like, why wouldn't they put her in like a wrestler that's in AEW? So it makes no sense if she's not in the card. But for other women's matches, if there's no Stardom wrestler available, I don't see like what other match they would put,
Yeah, for sure. I Callum 17 times, 5 pounds.
Yep.
Long live
pounds.
Long live King. Yeah, long live King CM Punk. Also, the booking of the War Dog has been terrible. It pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off, but it has been terrible. Yeah. Thank you so much, Callum. Bob the Builder. Ibu, chances that Punk wrestles at Forbidden Door. I'll tell you this, guys. Kenta versus Punk is not going to happen. It was something that was in the works and talked about, and like Fightful reported that Punk wasn't super keen on it, but I can tell you guys that people close to the situation have communicated to me that Punk was willing to do the match if Tony really wanted him to, and the match is gonna happen basically, and that for various reasons that don't pertain to Punk specifically, the match is not gonna happen. So they have to now figure out something new for Punk. And so we'll see if they give him a match, or if Phil just decides not to do the show. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
I gotta say, I'm still very scared that MJF is not gonna show up, and then out of nowhere, Punk's gonna come to have the match with Tanahashi. I'm still so fucking scared it's gonna happen.
I saw a lot of people theorizing on that, and that'd be really funny. Yeah. Darren Walker. I felt sorry for Hobbs. He's stuck with QTV fashion. Though Harley Cameron is gorgeous. Anyone her wrestle and what she like? I've never seen.
Darren, are you good?
I've never seen Harley Cameron wrestle there. She's the woman with QT Marshall. Favorite obvious steroid user in wrestling?
Pac.
They were both in this match. For me.
Pac, MJF, Andrade,
all of them.
Buddy Matthews.
If one can't go about the other for it, right? Fair to say.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like if you're on one of those lists, you're on the other one.
Cody Rhodes, Chi-Town Spurs $2. All-time wife guy performance from these two matches tonight. Yeah, man. Shout out to the wife guys. All right, so the next day on the show, Tony Nese was out cutting a promo, and I was like,
"Oh my god!"
I was like, "Why is Tony Nese cutting a promo?"
Do we need to talk about this?
Yeah, we have to. Listen, because Big Daddy Miro pulls up, and he beats his ass, and
I'm calling another man Big Daddy.
Listen, man.
Remember, there was a time.
Does your father watch this podcast?
No. Look, all I'm gonna say,
I'm gonna have this shit sent to him. Let's see what he thinks about you calling Miro Big Daddy.
Miro beat the absolute hell out of Tony Nese, and I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I thought it was a great reintroduction. And usually squashes on AEW television are kind of uninspired, but like he's really good at just doing a squash match. Like he's throwing this motherfucker around, and like he has so much charisma, you know. And like I just got reminded on why I loved his TNT title run. Like this guy has so much charisma. His stuff is super intense and impactful, and he's so powerful. He looks like a fucking bear, So I love this. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this. Anna, what did you think of Miro's return here against Tony Nese?
I don't think I'm the best person to talk about it because Miro never moved me, and he still doesn't. I'm so sorry. I just don't like. I understand the appeal of seeing like the big guy throwing other guys around and stuff, but it's just not for me, and it's not the kind of wrestling that I particularly like enjoy that much. Like just a big guy like squashing other people is not for me. And I don't know, Miro I just never got it with him, and I'm sorry, but the match, like I was watching, no reaction, just waiting for it to be over. I just never got that for him. I feel like the whole thing with the Lana and Bobby Lashley storyline just completely broke all of my respect for him. And I never that he ever like anything that he ever did was able to reconstruct that for me, like him in my eyes. So I just I don't get moved by him. I'm so sorry.
So you're unable to unsee the Cuck storyline.
Yeah.
What did you think, Isra?
Put this super chat up right now.
Which one?
From Bob the Builder, the most recent one. What do you mean by that? Wait, hold on. Bob the Builder sent 220 Canadian Israel versus AJ Lee in a lights out match. Huh?
Lights out in AEW is the unsanctioned match, basically.
Huh? What does that mean?
It's unsanctioned. It's unsanctioned match. Do you have any opinions, Isra, on Miro's return?
Nope. I don't have any opinions on Tony Nese either.
Well, the ladies here on this podcast have broken my heart, so I'm going to go cry a little bit. Joe, talk to me about Miro, please.
The real was returned, Ibu. The big man is back. I'm so glad to see Miro back. You know, I think he's just incredible. I honestly think Miro is one of those guys who you could put him in any time throughout wrestling history and that dude would draw money. You know, I think he's only scratched the surface. His TNT title reign is one of my favorites in AEW history, honestly. I just think he's a special talent. Promo, personality, edge, obviously the look, as we mentioned. And his work has intensity. And that's why a lot of guys aren't good at squashes now, is because they just have their moveset. But Miro got a reaction when he was throwing punches in the corner.
Yes,
because he exudes physicality and but he's just a badass, you know, like that's the way he comes across.
Joe, I was out here screaming. I said along with him when he went game over.
The people love him, man. The people love that was one thing that really stood out was for all of the conversation online about Andrade and Miro both in their absence. Like the people were thrilled to see both back. They both got welcome back chants, which is quite funny. That was like a trend throughout the show. Yeah, I think Miro, I honestly, and I've said this previously, like he never gets listed when you talk about the most complete talents on wrestling TV today. And I personally think he's on that list comfortably because to me, there's not really holes in his game. I think his biggest challenge is, you know, sometimes getting out of his own way because I think he's a pretty quirky character, which is part of the appeal. Let me be clear.
That he's out of his mind.
When you watch Miro, there is a sense this dude's fucking nuts. And look, that's real graps. I mean, it is what it is. I'm for that, you know. But so I think Collision, honestly, I feel like he might benefit the most because I think he could very quickly become like one of the tippy top players on that show. So I'm thrilled to have him back. I thought this was a really good use of time, and this was my kind of wrestling TV for sure. I thought this was tremendous stuff.
Same here, Joe. I'm all in.
I'm glad you enjoyed that, Joe.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I feel so confused because I'm literally unable to see all of that in Miro. Like when you were talking about it, it's like I'm just thinking like how
it happens.
Am I missing something? You know? Yeah, but I feel like I'm missing something.
I think it's a taste thing where it's like Miro reminds me of wrestlers from yesteryear that I enjoy. But if you don't have that like connection to that archetype, it won't hit for you the same way, you know. It's like to me, I see Miro and it's like, my God, this guy is like he's like a transported wrestler from yesteryear. So if someone doesn't care about that, it's like, fuck, you know.
Anna, do you have any like powerhouse wrestler that you get into?
Does Sheamus count?
Sure.
Yeah, if you're just saying like big guys that I like, of course I love like Walter Gunter.
Yeah.
Like because he actually has matches, you know. I love when they use like the big guys but show like they can actually like do like a long good match. They're not, it's not just because they're big they're gonna like defeat everyone super fast or have like short matches and just be like overpowering everyone just because they're big. No, I can actually have like amazing matches.
You're not feeling
I like when they use big guys for that.
He was next on the list. I think,
my eyes going through.
Yeah, I like that use of big guys when like they kind of
same.
defy the expectation of being like, oh, I'm big, so I'm just gonna squash everyone. Like,
so it seems with the ladies that you guys are just not super moved by guys who are generally squash match merchants.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what Miro is though.
No,
No, I think it's just as long as they have some kind of substance, because being the big guy, like that's been done so many times and it used to move people, but like now it's like you have to have at least some kind of a personality or something that separates you from other big guys. Like how like Gunther or Walter, like the way that he carries himself and how like his moveset is so unique to everyone else's, and like he uses his strength and his big size in like his own way instead of just like body slam, suplex.
I will say I thought
exactly
Miro's thing with the neck being his like weakness, I thought was pretty awesome. I will say, in terms of setting yourself apart, like his whole reign being built around the fact that if someone targeted his neck, he was doomed. I was very creative.
That Eddie Kingston match he had with him was
that
so
match
good.
Is incredible. Yeah,
Eddie Kingston Miro was so great, and it's a forgotten match because there was a lot of other bigger things.
Do you remember when he went like fucking 12 minutes with Fuego del Sol and made the people believe that he might actually lose to him on a rampage? It was like one of the most. No one ever talks about this.
I was there live, and I was like cursing out Fuego del Sol, and people thought I was mentally ill. Like I was like, "Fuck him up! Fuck him up! Kill him!"
That's even funnier.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, so good stuff. We had a video package for Scorpio Sky earlier in the show. And like they were talking about him like he was this new young up and coming guy, and like listen, the guy has a smooth head and a nicely lined up beard. Is amazing. Yeah, pause. But you're 40 years old, you know, like you're not just up and coming, like you're literally 40. I just wanted to make mention of that Scorpio basically is like, you know, I'm gonna silence the doubters and show people who I am. So that's a thing that is happening.
That's cute.
Yeah. The Outcasts versus Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue. The Outcasts came out here not with Saraya, who's not going to be around for a little bit for whatever reason. That's undisclosed.
So sad.
Saraya will not be on TV anytime soon. But, you know, I was wondering like how this would get handled. And clearly the goal of this match was we are going to highlight and spotlight Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue as good guys. And Willow came off like a powerhouse. Sky Blue was very much a traditional hometown babyface. I thought they both came off very well, to be honest with you. And this didn't get a lot of time, but they were very dynamic. And ultimately, the goal that was set, which is for them to look good and come off as like triumphant heroes, was accomplished. So, what did you think, Anna, of Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue's performance and just this whole thing?
I think for Sky was definitely like the big match for her to showcase her. Even like Willow, she did good. Like, no, it's Willow, but I feel like the whole match was built around like showcasing Sky and giving her the moment because it is her hometown. And I feel like she did a good job with that. Like she stepped up and she showed like, yeah, she's training and she deserves to have like those spots more and more. I feel like it was, I mean, for the time, it's a women's match in AEW TV, you know, it's not gonna like the time if they don't have the time. And yeah, unfortunately it's very rare that we get matches that on TV that are amazing, like for example Jamie and Shida or Jamie and Sakura. But for a women's tag match in AWTV, we don't expect great things, unfortunately, because they do have the potential. But yeah,
I would actually say that this match is better than Jamie's entire catalog.
What do you think of it? Break it down for me.
Well, yeah, like kind of like what Anna was saying, like Sky Blue had like really good reception. Like she does seem like she has a ton of potential. Like, I do see a lot of things for her in the future. I don't see it now, but I feel like character-wise, like the way that she's presented is very well. And I think that, you know, the talent and her being comfortable in the ring will come along the way. Willow's a fucking ace. I think that she has everything. Like, I think she's just perfect. I'm obsessed with her. Like, she can do no wrong. That's my baby. So, you know, I think putting her with Willow was smart because Willow is just genuinely great, and so she's gonna make her look better as well. I you know, I like Ruby and I tolerate Tony Storm, but they just neither of them move me. So I was mostly just like moved by the baby faces and what they were doing. I think that the outsiders shit, even without Saraya, like I actually did find it more tolerable just to see them two wrestle and keep that other shit with the spray paint and Saraya like out of my face. I did appreciate that. But yeah, we need to wrap that shit up with them too.
I like Ruby and Tony a bit more than you, but I do agree that like I'm not like super passionate about them because of the act that they're in right now. Like it's just they're in a heel group that's just kind of like okay, so it's like whatever. But Joe, I don't know. Yeah, you know, Joe,
I mean, hold on before we move on, because I don't want to like interrupt whatever Joe has to say, right? Wasn't it I don't know, a couple days ago that Jamie was talking about like, oh, you would be crazy to not want to, you'd be a fool to not want to work with CM Punk. I didn't read no article. I just saw the headline and busted out laughing because sis, last week I was on here talking about how like, you know, Thunder is, you know, going to be a part of this roster. So all the ladies that were terrorizing her for the past, you know, year and some change, like, you know, she's not bothering you. She's not in your face. Like, why now? Like, you want to be on Collision when she's not even bothering you, when she's such a terror and she's such a backstage cancer and she owes everyone apologies. Like, she's not bothering you. So why now? Like, you want to be on Collision in the show that she's on? I just find that interesting.
Hashtag interesting. Joe, people when they talk about Willow, like they talk about her in terms of like the future, and they'll say like, "Oh man, you know that Willow, like someday she could be this, and you know she has a lot of potential to do this, and someday she'll be." Bro, I look at her right now, right? And like it's like right now she can be, as Isra said, a fucking ace of a women's division. I see her and I'm like, I'd rather watch her than the majority of women's wrestlers anywhere.
Yep.
And so to me, I'm like, yo, she should be rocket shipped yesterday. I look at her and I'm like, man, the charisma, it's impossible not to just feel like happy when you see her. You know, she just kind of exudes this like positivity that's very magnetic. You know, it's very much an intangible that I appreciate. I think Willow's money. I think she knows what she is as a performer. Her game is power. She can do it in a very polished way already as a TV wrestler, and she's been on TV for a year. So I'm big on Willow. This whole thing of like, oh, maybe someday this and
who's saying that? You bro, stop bringing up like 2 or 3 random ass people's tweets from like who's saying that Willow don't got it already?
No, I'm not saying people think that she doesn't have it, but I'm saying that when people talk about her almost condescendingly, there's always this, it's always accompanied by like, oh man, you know, like she could be a star someday, and she.
We know why. We know why.
Hey, you know,
we know why.
Exactly. There's no.
She's a natural. First of all, like she's such a natural, organic baby face. Like she can work with just about anybody. Like she's so versatile in the ring, and she's just a genuinely really likable baby face. Like she's not just hot for one season. Like she's always, I think, gonna be a great baby face. That's the shit that kills me.
Absolutely. Ricky Starks was backstage. Was it backstage or was it a vignette? I believe it was a pre-tape. I'm sorry.
Pre-tape,
yeah. Pre-tape. Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks says he's officially in the Owen Hart tournament, and he's going to be the next big thing and use this win to catapult him to the top. So, best of luck to Richard Starks in the Owen Cup. We got another promo for Jeff Jarrett and Mark Briscoe in a concession stand brawl. This is for Dynamite. Okay. And Tony Schiavone was in the ring to introduce Daddy Ass and the Acclaimed, and they basically came out and did their routine, and the crowd loved it, and they all scissored each other. Billy Gunn did his scissor off the top rope, and Tony Schiavone did his with a microphone in his hand, and they all scissored each other 4 ways through.
Happy Pride Month.
And happy Pride Month. And right after that, guys, was main event time. About 30 minutes left in the show. They start doing the entrances. Jay White and Juice Robinson came out. Samoa Joe came out, and I didn't realize how much I missed Joe until I saw him walk out, and he looked like a fucking badass. CMFTR came out together, or not together, but like Punk came out with and stood with them, and then they all walked out together. And they were wearing jackets that said CMFTR in the logo design of the Hart Foundation. And this was just 30 minutes of, for me, real fucking wrestling. It was just fun interactions and good work and intensity and just man's man meat and potatoes wrestling. Dax Harwood wrestled like he was just fucking on one, chopping the shit out of Jay
Anytime you
White.
hear somebody talking about meat and potatoes wrestling, it's the most boring shit you ever seen.
No, my God. I was super into this. It was chops, you know what I mean? Side headlock takeovers, calling it in the ring, brother. You know what I mean? Cash Wheeler was trying to get his sneaky. Oh my God, Anna. Charlie had the funniest tweet. I don't know if it was in a circle or something, but she basically was saying that like Cash is like a closet wannabe like high flyer, but he has to hide it and like play it off like he's not going to do it. Because like Cash will come in and like he'll do a quick little dive and like a quick little roll or something, and be like, all right, no, back being a real wrestler, you know. But he'd be sneaking it, which is hilarious. I thought FTR looked good here. Jay White looked good. The highlight of this match to me is Samoa Joe in general. Personally, he walked in there right. And he had this unbothered energy staring at CM Punk and these dudes. He comes in, and the crowd goes insane for him and CM Punk facing off, right? And they kind of lock up and shit. He's 10 Punk to the corner. Oh, big chop, and he's talking shit to him right in his ear, right? And then he's starting to punch him and chop him and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so real. During the commercial break, him and Dax are trading chops and shit. He does the Kawada kicks. He fucking does a standing lariat on Dax. And I'm fucking standing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, this is real wrestling. Samoa Joe, he's back. And that's the thing about Joe, man. Like, he has these moments, Joseph, where he just, like, sometimes you see him in, like, a studio setting or whatever. You're like, oh, is Joe done? And then in these big moments, he just feels the way he's supposed to feel. He's a big aura guy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Some nights he has less than others, but when it comes to just feeling like a bad motherfucker, he has that no matter how he's feeling physically, right? And so he exuded just so much charisma, and he just felt like a bad dude. And so I thought it was great. I thought the energy with him and Punk was great. Regarding CM Punk, I don't like this gear, actually. I don't like this look at all. To be honest, I'd rather he like grow his hair and his beard out and go back to trunks and or shorts. That notwithstanding, regarding his work, I thought he was fine, actually, from a wrestling standpoint. Definitely a guy who's still getting back into the rhythm of things, for sure. But Juice Robinson and Jay White did really great working with him and bumping for him and selling for him. So kudos to them, for sure. I thought Punk's hot tag was good. Timing wise, he did all the stuff properly. The twisting neck breaker thingy that he does, the high knees, the bulldog clothesline, and all that type of stuff. He 100% came in and just played the hits on this night, and that was totally fine, to be honest. He didn't take anything super risky. Cash tried to kill himself on a spear through the middle ropes on the outside. And the end of this match had really great drama when Punk was in the coquina clutch, and Jay White had one of the other guys in the chokehold. And that was a great moment. But look, man, at the end of the day, Shatter Machine on Juice Robinson, GTS, CM Punk gets the pinfall, CMFTR beats Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe. I had a great time with this. I was just happy to watch it. I thought the work was good. I was a fan. Anna, what did you think of the 6-person tag?
I liked it. I thought it was a good match. Like, legit. I wasn't expecting to like it. But yeah, I feel like it was a bit too long though. There was a part in the middle that just I think was with Cash and Juice Robson that it felt like they were just uh, trying to like
Pat it out.
how do you say like yeah, they're just trying to like because they knew they had a lot of time left, so they couldn't get to the finishing stretch yet, so they just had to like kind of do
Slow
stuff
that
in the
down.
moment. Yeah, and that part was like very boring. But I think it was good. And for me, like personally, I love watching Joe wrestle. He has that aura that every time he's in the ring, it's just like it feels like a treat just watching him there, just watching him wrestle. Like I love Samoa Joe, and but I feel for me the biggest highlight of the match was definitely Jay and Juice Robinson. I felt like it was the best showcasing for both of them in AEW so far. They definitely like stood out a lot. They made Punk look good. Like it was their selling and the way that they were doing everything in the ring that actually make Punk feel like, oh, he's like back in full form when we know he's not fully there yet. But I feel like yeah, they did amazing. They did really, really good. I'm not the biggest fan of like Bullet Club Gold, this kind of thing. I'm not the biggest fan of Juice Robinson as well. Jay White is like whatever for me, but they really had a good showcase, and it got me more interested in watching what they do in the future. I think it was like an okay match. The finishing stretch was really good. Yeah.
What do you think, Ezra?
What did I think of CM Punk versus it was Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Juice Robinson, right?
Versus
it was a Samoa Joe carry job.
You're a Samoa Joe fan?
Yes.
I thought it looked great. Absolutely.
I thought Samoa Joe, being the veteran and the ace that he is, was able to make those scrubs that he was against look a lot more competent. So shout out to him. That's the only opinion I have. I'm sorry. Like, I really did try to get into the match, but like FTR, like they don't do nothing for me. And then Punk is just slow and old. He don't do nothing for me. I really do think the Samoa Joe like Bullet Club side was like a lot more entertaining, but it's like it was just a very one-sided type of match. So I wish I would have liked it more. Unfortunately, one side of the match was just not doing it for me. So
what would be
it is what it is.
So who do you think would be opponents for that trio that you would get into more in AEW? If you had to just spitball me 3 names.
Against Samoa Joe and
in the Bullet
Juice
Club.
and Jay?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I forgot their names. Buddy and Alistair and
House of Black.
House of Black. I think that would be fun.
That's interesting.
DP for starters, like would be better.
Joe, what did you think of the match, man?
Man, this was genuinely like as close as we've actually come to full Joe Holbert promotions on national TV. It was kind of sickening. Sometimes I was looking over my shoulder. I'm not sure I should be watching this. It was so fun. It was like a treat.
It was for the freaks like us. You know what I mean?
Bro, I ascended in the middle of this match. You guys didn't get it. You were in an ad break. Dax and Joe were trading chops in the middle of the ad break, and I was like, I don't think I'm watching wrestling again after this. This is it for me. This is the end. This is the season finale. This match is 2 things at once, and they're two of my favorite things combined because it's an embodiment of a whole era of wrestling, and it's a snapshot of what happened 20 years ago in small buildings, reaching the major leagues and the biggest stages, which is something we've watched gradually happen. And it's just extraordinary that to this day, we see these guys as relevant as ever. You know, it's extraordinary. Like 19 years ago, that Joe and Punk trilogy was. It's absolutely outrageous that they got that reaction in that building. You know,
10,000 people going nuts to CM Punk and Joe staring at each other.
It's special, and they all knew, and it's just that's an embodiment of the whole era because those guys just refused to go away, you know, and it's incredible. So you have that on one side, but on the other side, you have all these guys who have like this makeup of like, I don't want to do the thing here, but you know, real wrestlers, proper wrestlers, you know, they have this certain personality and presence. So it's like you have that on one side, the embodiment of an era that I love and adore, and I'm so passionate about, but also it was like, you know, a love letter to Major League Wrestling of yesteryear again, you know, because it was so simple. What they did was very, very simple. I could have and did when I was talking people watching this match. You could map this match out beat for beat, spot for spot, exactly, and get it right. They did heat on Dax for a Cash hot tag, then heat on Cash for a Punk hot tag, and Juice got pinned by Punk, right? Like everything I just said, you could have predicted beforehand. But if you tell the story well enough, you can fool me along the way. And when Joe got the choke on Punk,
I thought he was going to lose.
It was over. Yeah, and it's like they ended up exactly where we expected, taking the exact route we expected, but they did it in a way where I was completely transfixed by it and just like, you know, enthralled by it. So it's not a perfect match. It's too long, and it would benefit from being trimmed by 5 minutes, certainly. But it's one of my favorite matches of the year because of what it represented and what it meant and the atmosphere it brought. Samoa Joe is one of the most extraordinary professional wrestlers of all time. And one of the reasons, to your point, Ibu, you brought it up, is, you know, one of my favorite things about Joe on a personal level is his generation of guys, that golden generation, they're all so consistent, right? They're such remarkable pros. Like Bryan Danielson gives you such incredible effort every turn. I love the fact that Joe has this kind of mercurial element to his game. You know, this idea
where
that
sometimes he's great, sometimes he's a kind of ass. He doesn't give a shit.
Because, bro, let's be real, he's been this guy now for, 13, 14 years? TNA changed Joe. And you have these moments where Joe transforms into the dude he was here, which is like he goes back in time when he can, when the crowd's there for it, he can transform, and he was that way here. The initial chops were electric on Punk, so
shoved
fabulous
Punk in the corner,
match.
chopped the shit out of him, and was like, "Yeah, you bitch." And
I loved him out. I thought everyone was on their game. Juice Robinson is kind of a revelation for me in recent months because like I was not into the idea of him in AEW really at all until this act came together, and now I think he's kind of fun. And the other 5 guys are like, I just think are fabulous wrestlers, extraordinary wrestlers. So I love the match. And while I think they would benefit from close with a hot angle or a hook, if this is what Collision is in its like most ideal form, it's very much going to be for me, which is, obviously that's the most important for me. Fuck all the analysis I just gave. I enjoyed it more than anything else. I love the match.
I agree, Joe. And when I talk about Collision as a whole, I said earlier that this is a very simple show in terms of like how it was constructed. And I think a part of it also, guys, is like, as we know with AEW, every wrestler, they're dense with like continuity. Like they're a part of a multi-person stable. And so you get these matches where there's like warfare happening on the outside and this guy running out from this group and that guy running out from that group to make the save and all this chicanery on the outside and stuff. And like, because of all the strings attached and bells and whistles to every match, stables, random rivalries, interferences, gimmick matches, all up and down these shows on TV, there's like a general Dynamite controlled clutter that you're just kind of used to that is noticeably gone with this show because it just felt very like I feel like I was like just breathing open air because it was just like this guy versus this guy just having the match.
It was much steadier. Yeah,
very steady. And I think if nothing else, and I would like more angles for the next few weeks. If nothing else, I think what Collision could represent is an opportunity to revitalize what is a very talented lower half of the roster who's not active right now. And so I hope we can get that with people like Lance Archer and some other guys going forward, So I like the show in that regard. And overall, I thought this was definitely a thumbs up show, even if I could have appreciated more tangible happenings from an angle standpoint. Isra, did you like episode 1 of Collision?
I thought half of it was a waste of my time. Can I just say something real quick?
Yes.
Do you think CM Punk wrestling 30-minute matches every single Saturday is sustainable for him and his health and his body that is already deteriorating?
Definitely not singles matches. He can do this because he didn't do that much.
I don't think he's going to wrestle a long match every week.
I think he's going to wrestle quite a few. You know what? This is like a full circle moment because in the beginning, I was saying like, what the hell is the identity of the show with what he's doing? Him main eventing in a 30-minute goddamn match. Oof. Like, you know what? It really does embody like his narcissistic nature. So like, if anything, like this is actually like he was able to like wrap it up. So
but like we're going long again tonight, brother.
I need him to never do that again. But I'm glad Joe enjoyed it. He's the only man on this podcast that I respect. So if you like it, I love it.
What the fuck? Are you done?
Like, do you have a problem?
No, I thought you were done with a statement.
What kind of energy is that?
Oh no, I thought I couldn't tell if you were done or not. Anna, what did you think of Collision episode 1?
I think it was okay. Like, it was fine. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be like a show that I'm gonna actually like make an effort to watch every week. I'll probably just watch some matches because usually a Saturday nights, I'm out of my house. I'm like,
same. I watched it this morning. Like, bitches have things to do on Saturday.
My bad, cool kids.
Cool kids. See, this is the thing. This is the people that's staying home on a Saturday to watch Collision. Like, CM Punk really knows his audience.
Absolutely.
Like, he knows.
I always went on a Saturday night and watched CM Punk wrestle for 30 minutes. I was lined up.
Joe, we're the sweaty freaks pumping our fists because like Joe was doing a sequence from 2003 Ring of Honor.
Fuck yeah, I was, man.
And it's just like okay, and like Anna's like, all right.
Look, there needs to be wrestling for the sickos. There has to be. I've been very polite tonight, but I was hungry for a while there. Let me tell you, I wasn't getting fed by this shit. It was not giving me any. Nothing I was getting.
I respect that. I really do respect that.
He sends me these lists of matches I'm supposed to rate. I don't want to watch these matches. I want to watch Samoa Joe. That's all I want to watch. That's all I want to say.
I'm happy for you, Joe.
I appreciate
like,
it.
yes.
Joe got a list.
I'm still more.
Wait, no, hold on. Joe got a list from
Yes.
Monty of like matches were right in this week, and like Action Andretti versus
It's
like
it's
Darius Martin.
exhausting. It's exhausting. I can only write 3 stars so many fucking times. You know what I'm saying? I need to. There's a certain kind of music I've been waiting to hear. It's back. I don't want to overact on one episode of TV, but I think professional wrestling's returned to US soil, bro. I'm in. I'm ready to go.
And Isra basically was like, "This is a show for niggas with no lives," and me and Joe were like,
Yeah,
"Yes,
damn right." Finally, I'm represented.
let's fucking go." This is for big T-shirt gang, nigga. This is for wear a big graphic tee and like basketball shorts at the arena again.
Real.
Oh my god!
Sit there quietly and just nod your head at the graps. You know, that kind of vibe.
Us fucking shedding tears of joy for shit that like Anna's not gonna remember today.
Honestly, I'm so glad I wasn't on the air doing a watch along. When Dax and Joe were trading shots, I was disgusting. That was not right. Like, I was like sitting forward in my chair, wiping my brow and shit. Like it was.
I will admit, the ladies on the timeline, like Charlie was like, Collision was all right besides the punk stuff, I guess. And then I was like me and Joe and Monty, we're just all like, oh my god.
I think my tweet after the show ended was,
"This is what I need."
God Almighty, that was real. Which this morning I read that and was like, well, fuck. Why did I tweet that?
Because it was real, man. And
it was real.
You think this is bad? y'all don't want to tune in to Worldwide tomorrow.
Nah, the Worldwide's gonna be crazy.
We're just gonna be nasty. We're gonna be such.
It's gonna be revolting, to be honest. I wouldn't watch it.
Absolutely.
Because Manny, if you think we're bad, Manny the Hooper is gonna be like genuinely reprehensible tomorrow. He's gonna be.
I know. I'm in the Wrestle Purists group chat with Manny.
Yeah.
And
he's
it's not much exchange between us because
he's gonna be deadly tomorrow, folks. Please be safe.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of glad Isra and Anna are here.
Yes,
they basically bounced out what was going to.
Honestly though, like we have represented the kind of debate with this show's existence, right? Like the two of us have said this is exactly what I've been looking for, and both Isra and Anna are kind of like, I mean, it's fine. And that's really the conversation. So yeah, I agree for sure.
It does reflect poorly on the demos though, that like the women are just kind of like, Bob the Builder, Ibu and Isra versus Punk and AJ Lee mixed tag. Oh, me and Isra would win. I think that.
Nah, because you know what's gonna happen. The bell's gonna ring, and then the men are gonna be in the ring, right? It's gonna be Ibu and Punk, and Ibu's gonna start fanning out, and he's just gonna lay down.
No, I wouldn't lay down.
He's gonna lay down and tell Punk, "Pin me, daddy." That's what's gonna happen.
No,
and then I'm gonna take it out because of his freaky ass.
Because it's freaky.
So I don't see this match happening. I think it should just be singles. I'll get into it with AJ though.
The way that Ibu declared, "No, I will not lay down," was incredible. Like this was a match that was actually coming up on an upcoming show. Beautiful.
Match Vanity for Miro Kingston, underrated match feud.
Tremendous.
That match is fucking beast.
For sure. Run it back. Collision. Coming soon.
Scorpio Sky, worst TNT champion ever.
I don't know. Give it some time. See if the dinosaur holds that belt.
Scorpio's whatever.
Nah, because Christian Cage, if
Christian
is
the
now the
actual
TNT champ,
then Christian's gonna rule. But if they were actually doing a Luchasaurus reign, that'd be interesting.
Do y'all remember the Sammy promo from Grand Slam? No, I don't.
No one remembers any Sammy promos.
I really don't. Darren, Isra, you are too hard on Jamie. Her match with Cheetah, one of the best women's matches in AEW. Jamie is fantastic.
Darren, you are entitled to that opinion, and thank you for the super chat. You know, we appreciate you, but I am super good on that.
Muhsin Iqbal Raja. How come Ibu doesn't put on his webcam? If you want to see
Muhsin, bro, the way how'd you pronounce this man's name?
Muhsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tried your best.
I did pretty good. If you want to see me in motion on video, follow at Hangy Fashion on Twitter, and you'll get all the hangers.
Does that account?
People don't put his webcam on because he don't want y'all to know he's white.
In motion on video is crazy.
In motion on video. I am not a Caucasian man.
Proof?
Mao Zedong. Ibu is the perfect example of a victim of a capitalistic demagoguery. No sane man would worship an opium user from the suburbs of Chicago.
That's a fact.
I do not worship any opium
You
user.
got ate up.
No, I didn't. Ray J, $2. The Briscoes versus Team TNA match is better. What match is that? Is he talking about the bullshit from Rampage? Jesus Christ. Thank you for the super chat. I expect Darren Walker, £5. I expect Ibu to give a full review of Team Jarrett versus Team Aubrey, Mark, and Papa Briscoe, either tonight or tomorrow. Don't let us down, Ibu. I can get into it. I'll get into it mostly tomorrow, but it was pretty bad while simultaneously being, unfortunately, kind of morbidly entertaining to me because I'm a piece of shit. So.
Wait, when did that happen?
On Rampage on Friday, Aubrey Edwards wrestled Karen Jarrett and
the referee lady.
Yes,
she didn't go to jail. I'm sorry.
She got in the ring, and Mark Briscoe's father, who was like 70, got in the ring also and was doing moves. And Jay Briscoe was selling.
All of that sounds disgusting.
It was really bad, you know. But
yeah.
Ben Dixon, $5. Samoa Joe is still that dude when the adrenaline hits right. Needs big matches that let him cut money promos. Love ROH, but Joe's wasted on that stage. Yeah. I agree with everything you said.
Absolutely. He needs to be, that's exactly, he needs feuds at this point, you know, not just TV matches for the sake of it.
Bro, $2. Roddy teasing a Punk match got me, man. That's going to be so good. And
can't deal with that. I can't deal with that too much.
He just needs to be freed from the shackles of the undisputed elite. Like, he just needs to do something. I thought, like...
Joe's like, no debates here.
Oh my God. The thing is, I wiped it from my memory, but I remember when I watched oh my God, I just heard my own voice. That's just shook me. Roddy's first match in AEW, wasn't it like a tag match or something in the opener?
8-man tag, yeah.
Yeah, that shit pissed me off. Like, I think I hated that whole entire episode of Dynamite because I literally watched because Roddy was gonna debut and it was some bullshit. Like, what a fucking waste of me and Roderick Strong's time.
Me and Roderick. Yeah, and you know what? His next week, he faces Chris Jericho, gives Chris Jericho his best match in, like, I don't know, 10 months or so, roughly. And he hasn't really done much of anything since. And I think Roderick Strong is an amazing wrestler. So, thank you, bro, for the super chat. Anwar Starwind, $5. Y'all are great. Anna, what are your favorites? What are your favorites from the 5-star Grand Prix?
Ooh, Micah, for sure. I think Micah's taking it this year. And I mean, she should take it this year. Absolutely. I think Saya is going to have a great showing. I'm very excited to see Mariah May. I think it's a great opportunity. She's already doing great. And it's very clear that they're really betting on her to be the next big gaijin in Stardom. So I think she's going to have a great showing. I would say Suzu, Saya, and yeah, Micah's taking it. She has to. I feel like it's her moment for sure.
Thank you for the answer. And 6-star. Shout out to 6-star. 6-star, $10.
I love you, 6-star.
The return of Anna is the most important return in all of professional wrestling this weekend.
Facts.
I love
6 stars, queen.
I love Isra. Happy to see Russell Pierce succeed. Happy Pride Gang. 6-star, thank you so much. Appreciate the super chat. And we are also all appreciative of Anna's return here. It's been great to have her back.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be back, even though it was to talk about Collision. It was very fun.
We love you. Happy Pride.
Lanier Harley, $2. Wardlow's been fumbled since Double or Nothing 2. Get him to New York. I don't even know if a WWE run would save him. I honestly think, Joe, Wardlow should go to Impact and like try to go for it.
Whoa, take it easy, man.
That sounds spiteful, but look what happened to Steve Macklin.
Yeah. No,
he's still
I
over
think,
though, man. I don't know. That's tough.
I think Wardlow needs like acting classes or like something that's gonna get his like head right. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he just lacks so much charisma and character, and like he just exudes like sweaty neckbeard energy, but he looks like he shouldn't. Like it's very confusing with that one. You know, it's kind of, for me, this is a lost cause, but maybe there's still some hope. If he
I can't lie, Joe. Them cutting his hair also hurt too. I didn't think it would. Like that seems so like random. He looks like such a regular guy now with just short hair.
I actually agree. Yeah, it was when he came back, and that was like the look was just that he had like short hair. It wasn't like anything extravagant. I guess. I assume he's gonna turn right with On. I guess they're gonna be like a heel act. Would be my assumption, but I don't know.
I don't know. Thank you, Lanier, for the super chat. Bob the Builder, 220 Canadian. Can't wait till NXT weekend. Okada. Oh, next weekend. I was like, huh? Okada and Danielson, let's fucking go. Listen, the top matches of Forbidden Door look amazing. Okada and Danielson's going to be unbelievable.
Absolutely. It's going to be incredible.
Bob the Builder, another 220. Isra, are you a fan of Ricky Starks?
I think Ricky's a lot of fun. I don't like the direction that he's in currently, but like hopefully when he gets out of it, like he'll be in a much more interesting program. I don't currently see him being like main event echelon, but I think he can get there, but he just has to I don't know.
I'm very curious how he does under the direction of CM Punk. Princess Diana, $5. Anna, so happy you've jumped on the Mariah May hype train. She's my favorite of all my children.
Thank you, Princess Diana. Yeah, Mariah May, she's beast. She's really good. I feel like she surprised everyone because she was one of those people that when Stardom first got, people were like, okay, first of all, who is she? No one really knew her that well. Maybe they had an idea of who she was, but she was like, oh, she's this pretty face. How is she gonna fit in Stardom? And she's just been proving herself. She's very, very good, and I feel like she's getting better by the day. So yeah, I'm excited to see how she's gonna be in the 5-star Grand Prix for sure.
Has she been, as the kids say, giving cunt?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Serving cunt.
Really? Did I say it wrong? Did I botch? That's funny.
As the kids say. I don't know. What was that?
Because it's serving. Go ahead, Isra.
Huh?
Oh no, I was gonna have you read it because you can read the name. Pronounce it.
Okay, so Muhsin, €199. Is Anna staying, or was this just a one-off?
It's up to Anna.
For the next month, I'm gonna be traveling, so I won't be able to do the podcast. But by August, I can be back for sure.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you.
If that's all it, then folks, this was a lot of fun. We're talking about collision. Oh, come on.
That was on the screen quick. That was on the screen real quick.
I was like, what's happening here?
When he said this guy shit on the screen.
I look up at my fucking screen, and that's the first thing I see.
That's just spiteful. You know what I mean? That's just spiteful. You know what I mean? Anyways, this has been a very, very fun show. Talking with my good buddies from Russell Pierce. Anna, it's been really, really great to have you back on this show, and I can't wait till you make another return. You return merchant. Isra.
Yes, I'm very sorry. Okay, I was just gonna say that I'm very glad to be back, and I had a really good time with all of you. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Isra, it's been interesting to see you eviscerate my favorite wrestler of all time. Joe Holbert, listen, man. Tomorrow, we might need to add. Legit, I might tell Monty we have to add 30 minutes to Worldwide tomorrow.
That is crazy.
We have got to be careful. As pros, we have to rein Manny in on occasion. And honestly, for that matter, we may have to rein Monty in from what I heard because he was very aggressive last night. So
we'll have to rein me in, nigga. I've been holding back on this show.
We'll see how it goes. We'll call it in the ring, brother.
You were holding back, you said?
Bro, if it was up to me, I would have spent 5 minutes on Miro's punches.
Well, tomorrow on Worldwide, we will investigate this closer. Good stuff.
That's what I'm saying. But nah, guys, you guys are the best. I love and appreciate all of you. And not just the people on screen. She said, yeah, stop it. Not just the people on screen, the people watching. We've had over 200 viewers for the majority of this podcast, 2 hours. And we hit 250 at various points. You guys have been the best. So on your way out, please like the video. That's how I afford to pay for my kids' schooling.
Shout out to the Israelites. Shout out on Purist, Ayo, Chris, and Rob. Shout out Dumb God Live, Parker, Murph, and Jamie. Anna, thank you for coming. We really did miss having you on here.
No, for sure.
Who else? Fuck Ebu. Fuck CM Punk.
Shout out to me for sure. Shout out to me. You know what I mean? The guy that has X and have created Russell Pierce and all that type of stuff. So, Joe,
you need to be thanking me for letting you come on the Sunday slot.
I guess so.
All right.
Nah, you guys are the best. This has been a Sunday special. Please like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Last I checked, we were 1 subscriber away from 3,000 on the channel. So someone take care of that. Yeah, man. Long live CM Punk, the best in the world.
Fuck out of here.
Long live Russell Pierce.
Fuck CM Punk.
We'll see you guys tomorrow
Donald
for
Trump of
Worldwide.
pro wrestling.
Take care.